one-tricks, people of all ages, welcome to the British Esports Association League of Legends Championships. I'm your host, David Lord Flabsheem, and have we got some chaos in store for you today? The brand new pre-season patch has dropped early hours this morning, and teams will be crunching numbers to make sure they are well prepared for today's action. So, before I introduce our fantastic casters, there's a couple of announcements to be made. First up, we've got the upcoming streams of the British Esports Association. On Friday the 13th, which is a very spooky day, at 4 p.m. exactly, we have got Fun Friday with Elliot. Following on from that, on Monday the 16th of November at 4 p.m. once again, we have got the parent interview. The challenges parents face when children want to be pro gamers. And then coming on exactly a week from today, on Wednesday the 18th, we have got the British Esports Association's Overwatch Championships. So, going on from the streams, we've also got to talk just a little bit about the content. Highlights. The Content Center is now available on our championship platform. Please submit your best clips via our form for review to be featured in highlights and plays of the week segments. Other than that, we've also got the Esports in Education Summit, which was yesterday. For those people who missed it and would like to watch it back, please remember that we will be releasing this sometime next week on the website. This is also our second to last League of Legends stream this year. The next game will be on the 2nd of December, so please remember that date, especially if you're only here for the League of Legends games. That's all the announcements I've got. So, introducing our fantastic casters today. First of all, we have got our brilliant play-by-play, Sam Initialize Hapgood.
Hello. Today, I'm enjoying this. I'm ready to go. I've got so many notes on so many items. Brilliant.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, very sorry about that technical issue. It seems we all forgot to unmute. Oh well, it happens. This is what happens when we're stuck in lockdown, guys. We can't get the proper production we'd like to have, with a full stage, etc. So anyway, welcome to the British Esports Association's League of Legends Championships. I'm David Lord Flabsheem, your host this week, and joining me today is... Oh, sorry, I forgot the name then for a moment. First of all, we have got Sam Initialize Hapgood. We're off to a great start here, aren't we, Sam?
A pleasure to be here. I take that silence there as a little bit of performance art because it's equivalent to the amount of experience we all have with the new items and what we think about them, which is jack all right now. There is so much to learn, so much to get over. I cannot wait to get into this, even if there are about 30 different items to keep your eyes on.
I think it's fair to say that everything that's happening right now is just summing up 2020 perfectly. But thank you very much, by the way, for that cheeky one. So, just before I go on to some of the announcements, we also now need to introduce our other caster, the fantastic colour caster that is, once again, Jordan Sutty.
Thank you very much for the second introduction. Just as good as the first. I promise you guys wouldn't be able to hear it, but yeah, thank you very much. Looking forward to some great games on a crazy patch. Let's go.
Fantastic. So very quickly, guys, just some announcements. First up, we've got the upcoming streams with the British Esports Association. On Friday the 13th at 4 p.m, which is a very spooky day, by the way, is Fun Friday with Elliot. So a few games, a little bit of communication, see what's going on. How's everybody doing? On the following Monday, the 16th at 4 p.m, we will have the parent interview. The challenges parents face with their child who wants to be a pro gamer. That's a reminder on Monday the 16th. Following on from that, exactly a week today, on Wednesday the 18th, we have got the British Esports Championships Overwatch tournament continuing at 4 o'clock. So please make sure you're tuning in to the stream to keep up to date with all of that stuff. Next up, we've got highlights. The Content Center is now available on the championship platform. Please submit your clips via the form for review to be featured in highlights and maybe even play of the week segments. Also, we've got Esports in Education Summit, which was yesterday. So for those of you who missed it and would like to watch it back, we will be releasing this to the main British Esports website sometime next week. Finally, this is the second to last League of Legends stream this year. So that basically means that the next games after this will be on the 2nd of December. So remember that date if you're only here for the League of Legends. So let's just jump back over to the casters and talk a little bit about what we're expecting in this crazy, crazy new patch today.
Oh man, I mean, where to start? Everything has changed. I suppose the big thing to keep our eyes on, of course, is the new mythic items system. They're all pretty much a brand new idea. It'll be your first item purchase. They improve all the other fully built items you get towards afterwards. They give AD carries a way to survive burst. Assassins have a way to blow up people through that. It's all getting a bit mental, but watch out for all those mythic items. I'm sure Sutty has his own thoughts on those as well.
Yeah, the mythic items are so important. It's a big patch. If anyone's got this meta down already, like, fair play to them, because it took me about 2 hours to even read through the patch notes once. But I think what I'm looking at, what is the jungle item. There's a big jungle change with the not having to fully complete that jungle item, and you can go straight into that mythic item. So it'll be interesting to see what the junglers do as they're not rushing towards that first item and that really big power spike in the jungle.
Gents, just looking at today's matchups, first of all, we've got CONEL Cyphers versus Heckmondwike Hotshots. So, on paper, looking at the basic ranks of this team, I think it was fair to say that the Hotshots definitely have an advantage if we're looking at rank alone here. But the question I want to bring to you now is, obviously, with this new patch, do you think there's anything in particular that might become a little bit of a problem for either of these teams? Because it's almost as if we're somewhat playing a new game. Even though a lot of the basics have stayed the same, there is that many changes coming in, especially with these items. Do you think there might be any specific challenges or anything that could come up as a surprise that we might see in today's games?
Well, I think the big problem is that everything is up in the air. For the longest time, anybody who's been casting or watching competitive League of Legends has been so used to 619, the Worlds patch. Everything has shifted. We've not even been 24 hours into this massive, monolithic shift in how we're supposed to play the game. So we have no idea what champions are necessarily strong, just ideas and theory crafting. And so it will be a little bit about, well, okay, maybe we play with what we know, but what we know is very limited right now. So, I mean, I've been hearing things like Ashe at the minute, pretty damn strong. So anybody who knows how to build the Guinsoo's kind of double stack crit thing that's going on there gets a bit nutty. So it all leaves things very much up in the air, and that could be a good thing for teams. It could be a bad thing, and that uncertainty kind of leaves people a little bit in a difficult position to know where they stand in regards to everybody else, or even themselves with their own power levels.
Yeah, and I think I'll be looking towards the players with maybe slightly as the items is a massive change, but the game hasn't changed dramatically in terms of dragons and stuff. So the players with the high levels, I expect strong fundamentals, and everyone is trying to get used to these new items, and so I think the players with the higher levels, higher ranks, will do well today.
Fantastic. It sounds like, guys, we're going to have Champion Select coming in just a second now. So I'm going to dip out, and I wish you both the best with your cast, and I will catch up with you all a little bit later.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always. What a wonderful introduction that was there from Lord Flab. But that means it's just me and you, Sutty, as we are into Champion Select here between the CONEL BTC Cyphers and, of course, the Heckmondwike Hotshots. Couple bans already coming through. Namely, it's looking like Samira off the table straight away. Speaking of champions, the kind of new and improved from the competitive scene, that champion is just so strong, man.
Yeah, and it's a shame we're still not going to get to see Samira. She was banned twice last week, as that was the first ban. The Lulu banned away from the Hotshots. I think it was you that was saying that these enchanted supports will be really strong in this patch. As the opposite one is the Camille ban. Now, Super Big Fun is for sure the highest ranked player in this game. He's Diamond 1, which is obviously very impressive, and he has his most games played on Camille. So it isn't, not a surprise to see that banned away.
Yeah, absolutely. And Camille in general has been a champion that a lot of top laners have been putting time into over the last few patches, just with how strong she's been, even if things are kind of, as we said, up in the air at the minute. That weight of practice comes a long way. Taking that off the table seems like a sensible option, as the Cassiopeia now taken off as well. Very strong mid lane champion, good control mage, not going to be available this game. Curious to see what the last ban is, whether they continue to focus towards the bot side, do the hot shots, or think about moving to a more target ban.
Yeah, I would. It's interesting to see the Kane come through. The Kane is the most played of their jungler, Bald. But it is interesting to leave the Fiora up. I think its flow is a absolute Fiora one trick. The last game that he wasn't playing Fiora was nearly a month ago, so I expect them to try and pick that up, as that is his superior comfort.
But there is that first pick, Ashe. I had the displeasure of trying to play into that earlier today when I was trying to figure out the items. And it turns out Shield Bow and Ashe's passive with Guinsu's synergize exceptionally well. You can't blow her up, and she returns the favor in about 2 seconds flat. On the other side, though, looking like a Sejuani and the Thresh lock in. A lot of CC, a lot of lockdown, and a decent amount of frontline for the hotshots.
Yeah, this is quite a standard, quite a strong support jungle duo. As you said, a lot of CC, a lot of pick with this duo.
What a surprise!
As the Fiora comes out, that is no surprise to me. As I said, massive Fiora player, and it's the Leona answer. Leona makes sense as Thresh makes sense as a counter to Leona, but Leona is a really strong champion at the moment, and I think this Leona Thresh matchup actually goes the way of Leona now, just because she's so tanky, has so much CC. As we maybe see the Vladimir come through on the other side.
Yeah, but very certainly a skirmishing option, a scaling option is what I was going to. And of course, the new and improved options for AP mages looking towards Spell Vamp. Now, Omni Vamp, which just heals from everything, is so strong when you've already got a guy like Vladimir who just builds off life stealing. So things like the new, if I can find the new item name up, I'll come and tell you. It's the that's the one. See, that's why you're the analyst and I'm not. I've got about 30 pages of notes in front of me, like which one has all my AP items on, and that is exactly at the Riftmaker, potentially very strong as a mythic item. Now through into the second phase of bans, though, it's Talon Ezreal off the board. Ezreal, again, pretty happy with things like Trinity Force, still pretty damn strong. Of course, even now, of course, Tear of the Goddess is a starting item as well, so if you want to be very greedy, you can go towards that one early. Kassadin now the final ban for the hotshots. And what are you expecting for this last ban here? Another AD carry focus, maybe, as Ashe has already been picked and they want to stifle Genre's champion pool?
Yeah, I think the next highest elo player is Genre on this team, and they haven't picked their AD carry yet. This Vladimir can still be flexed between two lanes, in the mid lane and the top lane. So I expect them to go towards the AD carry, and I actually expect them to still pick their AD carry here to keep that Vladimir flex top lane and mid lane alive.
Well, all the world's a stage, and Jin is certainly going to be stepping up upon it. The man of 4 shots, locked in for the bot side, even more CC and lockdown, good amount of utility. Looking to back up the Vladimir, who's going to be doing all that damage and ping. But speaking of junglers that Bald is comfortable on, he might have put a lot of time into Kayn, but he's also put a fair amount into the Shadow of War. Hecarim locked in. That's more engaged. That's someone to follow Leona in going deep. Hovering the Annie right now. Of course, that champion has been changed. You can now get a lot more out of her E. That shield, the Molten Shield, definitely does a lot of work. A lot of speed up, can use on allies. Speed up and fire damage on a Hecarim sounds pretty good to me, Sutty.
Yeah, a really nice combo that they picked up there. It's interesting to see the Hecarim come out. This is, his Kayn was banned away, and this is one of his next highest played champions. And as you said, there's that lovely synergy between Heckram and Annie with the new changes. As the Jax comes through as the Fiora counter, I think this lane is a bit of a skill matchup, so it'll be interesting to see what goes up there. As we said, the Fiora is this one trick in the top lane, so maybe I expect the Fiora to come out ahead because there's just such sheer comfort there.
Completely true, but of course, this guy is super big fun. As we said, one of the higher rated players, if not the highest rated player in the lobby, unless there's some secret accounts we don't know about. Well, that could prove problems. And of course, we aren't alone here in our opportunity to analyze because we've brought in a specialist, Milky Serial, here to bring us his big brain and help us break down how these drafts are going to play out. Good to have you, sir. Believe he's muted though, which is always a slight problem. So we'll wait and find out whether he's still here. I'm sure he'll be around and about. There we go. We got him back. Hello, Milky. We'll try that one more time. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Pleasure to be here alongside you, Initialize, and you as well, Jordan Sutty. And yeah, new patch preseason. It's going to be crazy, isn't it?
It's certainly something. I suppose at this point, Milky, I've got to ask, we've seen the team comps out here. I'm seeing a lot of team fight and CC over for the Hotshots. A little bit more pick and split push, of course, with the Fiora over the side for the Cyphers. What are you feeling about the drafts and how they're going to play out, particularly with how the new items are right now?
I'm going to be honest. I'm really, really surprised. And I don't know if that's a good surprise or a bad surprise, because I think myself, like pretty much 99% of people have come into this new patch and been thinking, what on earth is going on, really? There's so much stuff. I mean, you mentioned it yourself, Initialize. Everything is up in the air. Nobody really knows what's happening. And I was discussing with Lord Flab before we did come live, are we going to see people going with the standard, going with their comforts? Or are we going to be seeing people going out of their comfort zones a little bit, trying something new? And I was expecting the latter to happen, but it seems that it's been a case of people going for those comfort picks. I was expecting to see a lot of assassins in that mid lane, because you have that upgraded to the Duskblade, where you now go invisible, and there are picks like Kha'Zix, which are very, very scary. But we've got the likes of the Sejuani and the Heckram, which, we'd see this draft 3 days ago in the old patch, and we'd think, okay, there's nothing unusual here. So I think we're going to be seeing some big changes once we get into game. But so far in the draft, everything looks practically identical.
Exactly. I think there's something about playing to comfort, right, Sutty? It's all well and good having all these new items, but playing new champions on top of that might be a little bit of a tall order with less than 24 hours into a patch, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we said that we picks player for the players, Flo getting his top lane Fiora, and I had one word written down for Psych, and that was his Thresh, and he's been able to get that. So yeah, I think comfort is really important, and these teams have been able to get that.
I know I've been talking, of course, with Nymera, who is another color caster in the scene. I live with him. He's my brother. Makes things quite easy for chatting things. And he's been kind of telling me that he thinks the support mythics look pretty damn strong. Have either of you got any impressions about what you're thinking about some of these guys? I mean, looking at the likes of Locket or Moonstone Renewer, the support items, the likes of, say, a Thresh or Leona, looking pretty powerful right now.
Yeah, I'm a support player myself, and I wasn't playing support earlier today, but I went into a Thresh and trying to assassinate the AD carry when the Thresh was standing on top of them with the new lock at the Iron Solari was pretty much impossible. So I think that mythic item will be really strong, and I expect both supports actually to go towards it.
Of course. Okay, any thoughts on that one?
Well, myself, like Jordan, I'm also a support player. So coming into this, I was almost a little bit disappointed with the changes, because I thought, from seeing how things have essentially shaped up, I think this is a big buff towards Enchanter supports. So I was expecting to be seeing the likes of the Soraka, the Yuumi, because when you do have those legendary items like the Moonstone Renewal, where you heal so much, those healing supports can be so big. But we're seeing the Thresh and the Leona, and I reckon a potential pick that we might be seeing coming through from Psych on that Thresh is actually the Shirelias rather than the Locket of the Iron Solari. That extra movement speed can be pretty big.
Absolutely. And I know, speaking of that Moonstone Renewer, of course, we're expecting the Shrouders, we'll move on to that. But as some context, guys, if you stack it up in the middle of combat, you effectively heal people by attacking. You can heal your allies for 900 hit points and auto attack, I think, if my numbers are correct. It is nuts, some of these support items. And Shirelia's is right up there as well. Huge movement speed buff. Plus you add, I believe, some attack damage to all your allies around you as well. Or it's additional magic damage on your autos and stuff. So you just buff everybody up around you. Those mythic items so damn strong. So interesting you call up the Shirelia's.
Yeah.
But
Oh, sorry.
now, I'm going to say, unfortunately, I'd love to have got some more from you, but unfortunately, we're heading on to the Rift, so maybe we'll have to wait till next game for that little bit of future analysis. Thank you again, Milky Cereal, but of course, now moving on to the Rift, just waiting to load in with the rest of the players. Quality analysis as always, but once again, that leaves it just being me and you, Sutty. Are you ready to try and remember all these new item names, my friend?
That's a definite no. I've got a lovely list next to me, and I will definitely be looking at that. There's no way. I think you said it. There's crazy amount being implemented, and we've only talked about 3 of them, I think. So yeah, it'll be fun at least. I think everyone's in the same boat, so it'll be fun.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see how it all plays out, but onto the Rift as we are. And as you can see, there's a little assist me ping coming out from Hecarim, but little else to be found right now. Everyone else, 5-man fan, nothing crazy so far, which keeps things, at least for now, relatively tame. So we can have a look at some of these items. Any of them catching your eye right now? I'm looking at Dark Seal start for Vladimir is one that's catching my eye at least.
Yeah, and the Cull start for the Jhin. Very two very like scaling items. The other side being the aggressive with the Doran's Ring and the Doran's Blade. But yeah, I think it's interesting that we see a 5-point come out from both teams. Heckmondwike have the Thresh and the Sejuani. You know, they would have maybe been able to stop the snowball of this Hecarim really early and try something. But it looks like they're playing it safe and just leashing on the bot side.
Course. I myself am a bit of a jungler as well here, so you'll notice the new items in the inventory there. That will, of course, be the Hail Blade, the equivalent of Chilling Smite of old. It's effectively Hunter's Talisman. We're still looking at like what effectively is the equivalent of Skirmisher's Saber, Stalker's Blade, I apologize, Chilling Smite. You smite 5 times with that item, and it will turn into the improved Smite of old. So at that point, you get a whole new item slot available. You can start working towards those mythic items nice and early, because your starting item upgrades by itself, much like the support items do.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting. It's a great example. The Hecarim normally he used to start with that Hunter's Talisman and then just go straight into the rifles. So the fact that he doesn't have to go towards, you can go towards
buff,
that.
yeah.
You can go towards that jungle item. He can go straight into the Triforce, which he was planning on doing anyway. So I don't know if it's a buff or not. We'll see. But interesting to see how he pilots and builds this Hecarim.
Yeah, keep our eyes on it, of course. You want to see the Hecarim get ahead, but that's a good hook onto Rhetorical, who is in a lot of trouble, takes the Ignite and has to flash away. Now Corey the Gamer getting flayed down by the Chain Warden, but survives for now. But that is a big HP advantage in the bot side. It's the flash down from Leona, but the Ignite down for Sykes. But all the same, I am very much favoring the side of Hotshots. And this bot side is another hook. Lands. Corey flashes, but the flay lands anyway. First blood goes the way of Jhin. Here is Hecarim to try and turn it around. The devastating charge is there, but now Sykes trying to run away, trying to get out. Bald gets the kill and scalps his enemy. That's a fantastic Zenith Blade, and it's a double for the Hecarim. What looked amazing for the side of the Hotshots is quickly turned around, and instead it is the Warhorse, who is swiftly off to the races, fittingly enough.
Bald with a fantastic counterplay there, coming in, picking up a double kill for himself on this Hecarim. We talked about him going towards this Triforce as super big fun, nearly going to tower there, but 2 kills early. It was initially the Ashley Leona not respecting the level 2 from Thresh and Jhin with the Ignite, as we may see a top lane dive.
Oh dear, Flo just gets taken out by the counter-strike. No hope, no way. Did not have the parry available. Such a long cooldown early on. Tower dive comes through, and already we worried about Super Big Fan on this top side. We said he might just be able to run over the game in the 1v1. Thus far, early on, it's a solo kill at not even 4 minutes. That's not a good sign for this Fiora in the top side.
I think the worst thing about this is Bald wasn't able to even contest for that topside scuttle, and he's about to get double scuttle. Thankfully he was able to get some gold from that bot lane play, but he will be put behind the Sejuani who is this Thresh?
Just hits everything. Unfortunately, the Deadly Flourish did miss, so Corey wasn't kept in place. will not be kept in the house for any longer than he needed to be there, or at least lane. Sejuani is here, though. It is the real ape trying to step forward, getting those frost stacks up, getting so low, and Rhetorical will not survive. It is the Thresh that gets this one, and there is no Hecarim to turn this one around.
Yeah, these hooks have been amazing. They've subbed in Mad Life for this week's games. I don't think he's missed the hook yet, and even he's landing 2-man onto the Thresh and the Leona. A really nice pickup, and it was Jhin able to pick up that kill, which is really important. Hecarim has just gone back to base, which is really really bad for this Fiora, as this wave is pushing against her, and she will not be able to match this match this Jax. And we see a change coming through. The Sheen was obviously really strong on Jax anyway. It doesn't give you the mana or the cooldown reduction anymore, but it's a much cheaper item, as we do see him miss a hook. The first one, I think we can let him off for that.
He's done pretty well. He's got to psych you out once or twice, appropriate for the name.
Very good, very good.
I've got puns for days, mate. It's all I do. I feel like
exactly,
Playcaster. He's already disappointed in me, ladies and gents. That's what I had to do to my color cast. He's like, why am I working here? Top side, though, flash force from Flow. That's a sad sign. Already down 15 CS. It's 10 CS in the bot side, and you're going to start to see these laning discrepancies becoming a bit rough. Selfie pops the Sanguine Pool and gets himself away. It's Big Fun leaps forward, but doesn't get that much. But that single auto there, starting to sting the Sheen in inventory. That's super cheap by now, down to 700 gold for an item purchase. Just stings on the spell play, hopping in. Does try to parry the counter-strike, but Super Big Fun makes it look easy in the mid lane, though. Selfie taken very low by the ginormous Tibbers in a horrifying display, but does survive, and that's a second death for Fiora on the top side.
Yeah, we just saw Super Big Fun blow the flash of the and he was able to pick that solo kill up. He's just picked up a Sheen, as you said, and we saw the damage from that Empower on the W. It was so much just with the one item. I think the biggest thing is Fiora died with the wave pushing in towards her, and she's just missed so much minions. And it's not just the gold; it's the experience as well. The Jack's already towards level 6, as there may be a problem in the mid lane.
Yeah, might be. Real Ape gonna get charged back, gets stunned in place, but it's a return stun that potentially saves life. No mana on Takeshi to really put the damage out, and of course, nothing like the Tibbers to use already used in that trade in the mid side. Looking over at the gold lead, though, you can see it's already about 1,500 gold to the Hotshots, and we're nowhere near anything like 10 minutes as Float burns the parry, gets a little bit of trade back, but that means the parry is down. There has been no Counter-Strike used, and Super Big Fun can definitely look to trade more aggressively. There we go, steps forward with the Counter-Strike, and that Empower hits like a truck right now as Sykes skims the air next to Corey the Gamer, but not held down. Ball just gets obliterated in the Dragon Pit as Vladimir finds the horse being a little too overeager on the Dragon Fight, and top side flash Counter-Strike secures a third solo kill for the Jax. He doesn't need a real weapon because he's beating Flo to death with what feels like his bare hands right now.
Yeah, I think we expected this difference in the top lane, as we said. Super Big Fun, a Diamond 1 player.
Another hook.
Another hook, my word.
I would love to play-by-play this, but there is no time. Corey the Gamer once again in the death realm. It is a second death there. We've already talked about the third death in the top side. It is 7-2 in kills. It's not even 8 minutes in the game. I
think it's a good thing when, I'm being cut off when I'm trying to say things. There's so much action in the game, as top side and bot side are just making plays for days. That this Thresh, I think we've seen him miss one hook. They've already taken a plate under the bot lane, and this Jax is so far ahead at the moment. I think we weren't able to see the top lane the first few ways in the top lane, but I think Fiora maybe misplayed, and Jax has really been able to punish that mistakes. And I think that's what happens when you go against such a high-low player.
Yeah, can do. Of course, there is still a world where things maybe turn around, but the problem is it's a 3-level disadvantage right now. There's the parry out, but once again, you've got to keep your eyes on that Counter-Strike cooldown. Big Fun not burned it yet, and that means that Flo cannot contest the wave, and that is a terrifying prospect. I think for me, the hopes lie with Bald continuing to make something of this early kill lead, but there comes the Counter-Strike, there come the empowered auto attacks. Conqueror is stacked, and Flo is down to 20% HP and needs to be so terrified in this top lane matchup. He's down 40 CS right now. Hop forwards, and it is a 4th death for the Fiora.
And it's not just the levels, it's the experience. She's still level 5 to the level 8 of the which is a complete disaster. And the Hecarim, he's not even level 5 yet, and he was put ahead from that bot lane play. So it just shows how far ahead this Jax is. You know,
a lot of damage.
a lot of
onto
damage is
Selfie
very
in the
true.
mid lane, yeah, but of course there's still the pool, so we'll be just about all right. But it's interesting to see Takeshi using that ultimate there, Tibbers or Teemo, as it happens so aggressively as Selfie gets battered under tower by the trollish Teemo there. What a 10-year anniversary gift that skin was.
Yeah, very nice. And I think this is you know the best thing. The thing that's going the best for them in the game is the fact that they're getting this mid lane prio. You know, he hasn't been able to pick up a solo kill yet, but it doesn't matter too much. He's been able to make sure his Hecarim is farming his own jungle camps and can speed the Hecarim along, as he has now hit level 6. And you know, maybe they do try and help out that top lane, as you know, it's been a really
another hook lands in the bot side. Corey the Gamer taken down so desperately low. The box comes out and the curtain is called. And this is not an encore that the Cyphers wanted. Genre gets that kill. I think this particular movie's a horror story. Bald is here looking to turn around. The solar flare flashed away from Corey the Gamer, trying to get out of the onslaught of shadows. But the shutdown comes through. Sykes gets the return onto Rhetorical, but now he is in a 1v1 with the Hecarim, but somehow has the level lead. Now Flo manages to dodge the Glacial Prison. That was a nice move. Good use of the parry as well, but Super Big Fun still here, hopping forward. Has got a Trinity Force. The first mythic item I have seen in competitive thus far. Congratulations, Super Big Fun. You go down in my particular annals of history. But escaped as the Fiora with some swift feet, a breath of relief for this Fiora, even if she is still down a monumental amount of gold in CS. It's 3,000 gold right now, Sutty.
Yeah, and it was a 2-for-1 in the bot lane, even with, which just shows how strong. And yes, the Fiora escaped, but she had to use her flash, and that's 5 plates for. And he already has Trinity. These mythic items have been so strong on this patch, and he's already achieved it towards the Tiamat of the Fiora. And there's still that 3-level lead. And we see Sejuani going towards the Rift Herald. They were able to pick up that first Cloud Dragon. As they're picking up the
my
second
days,
Herald.
Takeshi took a massive amount of damage there. Flashing from Selfie, looking for that kill. Can't find the last transfusion, but does at the last gasp of that fight. Selfie now being run down by Tibbers, who is so damn angry, but another transfusion will save his life. At the top side, though, Jax and this Sejuani running rampant through the jungle. Gromp will not be surviving any longer. You can see Hecarim as well has gone towards the Gore Drinker here as his mythic. No Trinity Force, no Stride Breaker. This is a kind of a similarity to old style Hydra. Has a lot of ability haste, a lot of damage for your missing HP. It's a kind of turnaround item. Interesting choice, I feel, from Bald.
Yeah, I think it's good for him that he's already been able to finish off item because his topside jungle is no longer his topside jungle. It is Jax and Sejuani's, but mainly just the Jax, because he will 2v1 them if they come. So it's good for him that he's already been able to get that one item at least.
All right, Sykes now in trouble. Here comes Bald. Has not got Onslaught of Shadow, but it's just turned up. So much HP. Remember, there's still the active on that Gore. Hasn't used it. There's the arrow. Does got the healing. The turnaround is huge. But here is Super Big Fun. And it is only fun for the Hotshots, who are looking to turn up the heat in the bot. Rhetorical falls down for a triple kill to the Jax. That's 7-0-0. He's going to move over to the Dragon, you feel like. He's not even going to bother. He's going to let us say what he does. It says, my work here is done. His work was a massacre.
I think we are seeing why this team is undefeated, as he's making up in the mid lane. Let the man breathe. As Sejuani, he was able to pick up that Rift Herald, and now he's going towards the second Dragon. Syke did go down in that bot lane play, but I think he'll take it with a triple kill on his Jax, and the Jhin being able to take more plates, and this Rift Herald, and the Inferno. Sorry, it's a massive win for Heckmondwike.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're gonna have to see how this one continues to play out, of course, but part of this game has just been non-stop action. 25,500 gold to 18. That is a 7,500 gold lead. We're not even at 15 minutes. That is a significant gold lead. Hell, that's more than a significant gold lead. That is kind of a Mount Everest of a gold lead. And I need to ask at this point, what do the Cyphers need to do to think about coming back into this game? Who do they need to look now? Selfie once again taking a Tibbers trade, but I don't think anything more will come from that. So I think he might get a chance to ask, but maybe not. That's the Hemoplague turnaround, and that is a brutal amount of damage, as you can see. It is the Harvester picked up for Selfie as his mythic on him, but will get shut down, and he gets that one. Goes a little too deep looking for the solo kill.
Yeah, just a little bit deep. That is
Hello?
going
Unfortunate.
well. The top lane is a different story. How many solo kills is that? I count after 3. As we see, maybe even he might even
Alright,
1v1
Ball's going
this
in, but
game.
he's down 3 levels, takes a counter strike
Yeah.
to the face and regrets his choices there a bit, but at least be able to save the tower. Jax, at this point, with the items he has, is a engine of siege destruction. No tower structure or champion can stand against him in a 1v1 right now, and I feel this Fiora is going to need at least 20-odd minutes, really, before she can look to contest the 1v1. Desperately needs to find a way to survive in this lane.
Yep. And I think we see Sejuani going towards the bot lane now. They have that. Plates have already gone down, but I expect them to try and open up this tower and maybe even dive. The Leona ultimate is down as they try to make a play on the Jhin. But yeah, this will be the second tower for them, as Jax has obviously already nearly taken a second tower there in the top lane.
Alrighty then, you can see Shield Bow completed for Jhin. Night Harvest, as we mentioned briefly, for this Vladimir, but in the bot lane, ults are flying left and right. The Glacial Prison landed, the curtain was called, but little more to be found. Herald coming down, but that's another hook from Sykes. He just doesn't miss. He lands the double flame to get the style point. Flashes out, but will trade his life. It's a 2-for-1, but here's the teleport in. Flow going in, gets so much damage, but can't quite secure the kill. He called the grand challenge, but can only find one of his marks. Jhin fleeing away from the onslaught of shadows, but will not be forced back into the tower. Real 8 falls down. Bald gets that kill, his 5th of the game. Gore Drinker doing its work. Flash away from Jhin, has got himself the Nimbus Scope, but here comes Takeshi. Will have himself that Molten Shield for a speed up fairly shortly, but they don't want to chase into the darkness of the blue side jungle, and Jhin escapes. A little overzealous there are the Hotshots living up to their name, and it is slight silver lining perhaps for the Cyphers in that bot side play.
Yeah, I think they have to say that was a win for them. It was a 2-for-2. They were able to use their TP to change that play, and I think for them the best thing was it was again the Hecarim picking up both of the kills, snowballing him even further. But still, there is a 4-level difference, and you know, Jax has already completed 2 items there in the top lane. That's Trinity Force and the Blade of the Rune King. Still not looking good.
Yeah, definitely. I've also got to call out here that Sykes has not gone towards a mythic item on support. He's gone straight towards a Zeke's Convergence. Interesting choice there. I don't believe that's a mythic item. Yeah, it doesn't look like it to me. Just making sure there. Of course, Convergence, still pretty strong. You can get a lot out of people using their ultimates. It's still a strong item, don't get me wrong. But Bald is feeling the strength of this Jax, who just eviscerates him by the Gromp. Takes the camp as well. 9th kill of the game. Up at a near flame horizon, needs 5 more CS to be ahead of the Fiora by a full 100. Desperately, despicably strong here. Got himself a Blade of the Ruined King to match up with his absolute might. A king in the top lane indeed.
Yeah, and there's a Rift Tower spawning again. He's already there waiting for it. The Scuttlecraft. And hopefully they're able to use this and snowball this game out, because I think the biggest thing is they have this massive gold lead, and I like them to show us that they are this strong team. They are undefeated currently. They're 3-0, and wow, you know, it's really good for them. But I like to, you know, this is their first time on stream. I like them to show us that they are a strong team, and you know, snowball this game out of control and end it.
And thus far, it feels like they've managed to do that. You know, you can see CS discrepancies across the board, largely in their favor outside of the mid lane. You can see how the bot lane went. Sykes, in particular, being near heat-seeking with those death sentences. And I think we've waxed lyrical about Super Big Fun at this point. Rhetorical just about avoiding that particular death sentence, but gets flayed back in, stepped up a long way. Deadly Flourish coming out, that's an ultimate challenge. They're looking for the engagement, they don't get much out of this. Bold getting flayed back in, just about survives, but the curtain now called. It's a hook onto a minion, but here comes Super Big Fun to the backside. Rhetorical trying to survive, but not enough. It will be Annie who picks up a paltry, a measly single kill at the back end of it, but it's a 4-for-1. They'll summon the Rift Herald. The Dragon's gone live as well, and the Hotshots will clean house in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think we saw Victor trying to get that mid price, you know, but stepping it way too far into the Thresh. You know, they have that Rift Herald, and as you say, Drake. That'll be their third dragon, this Ocean Soul. If they're able to pick it up, this Jax will, I promise you, be unkillable, as they were able to get 2 towers off this and an Ocean Drake. And I think this Rift Herald is even going to get a 3rd charge. He's able to smite it. But I think the play was good with the objectives afterwards. But that was a 4-for-1. Again, it was Psych trading his life for 4 kills for his team. As you said, he's making this Thresh look like it's heat seeking. Maybe one of the changes I glazed over was Thresh is now a targeted ability. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up. But yeah, a great team fight for them.
Absolutely true, and you can start to see that the item discrepancy is definitely hitting us. A lot of mythic items starting to hit. As we said, shield bow in for this Jhin. Got himself a rapid fire cannon as well. And remember, guys, your mythic items empower all your further items afterwards. You only get one of those mythics, but everything else is just amped that much more. So say that shield bow, you're getting additional attack damage, you're getting additional HP, making yourself that much harder to burst. It's ability haste from Night Harvester. We talk more about this, but there's just no chance for Jhin in the mid lane. Actually, good CC combo from the Cyphers, who at least find something to stymie the bleeding right now. 9-22 is the kill score, though, so a long way to go. And down 12,000 gold and 3 Drakes. It's only a silver lining right now beyond the storm cloud that is the Heckmondwike Hotshots gold lead in this game.
Yeah, I really love this play. I mean, this is what they have to look for if they're going to be able to win this game. The Sejuani and the Jax had just based, and they had the tempo to make that play. And that's a 500 gold shutdown, and that is nothing to be scoffed at.
Absolutely not.
I think it was Annie that was able to pick up that kill, and that's 2 items for her now. So maybe this Annie is the win condition. They're going to have to do that a few more times, I think, to make a dent into this gold lead. But yeah, it's a really good and proactive play from them.
Yeah, of course, but speaking of that, Annie got to be a bit careful not to have the same return to her, but that speed up from the shield, the Molten Shield, does so much work by keeping alive right now. Still not got barrier, though. Gets stunned in place, and while that was some good dodging skills to begin with, goes golden, but she has no HP and finds herself on the wrong end of a tide of blood. Death Sentence lands again. Psych goes bald, though, and tries to find his way out, but he's found his way to 2 of the solo laners. Selfie picks that kill up, his 4th of the game. Turret destroyed in the top side as well, and now it is the mid lane tier 3 under siege. Flow gets knocked up by the Arctic Assault. Death Sentence goes wide, but it's just a taxi to get Sykes a little deeper. Dark Passage gets the real ape back out of danger. But 2 tier 3s under siege. It's 21 minutes into the game. Oh, up forward! Good lord, that's not safe for this stream. Absolutely disgusting damage from the Jax, who picks up his 11th kill of the game. He's 3 items, and Ash is dead for another 20 seconds. It's a 5 versus 4. It's 2 inhibitors down. I think the Hotshots might be looking to try and end it here. Can the Cyphers hold on, Sutty?
I'm not sure about that.
We wish we had more options. We wish we had more to say, but I don't think the Hotshots want to give us a chance. Genre gets another kill. Ball goes down. It's an ace. It'll be 1 back in return from the towers, but they just don't give a damn. There's a little bit of dancing for Genre, who's pulling out some swift moves by the fountain. Looking like Corey forced down. It'll be the first death of the game to the fountain lasers for Jax. 1 last Nexus turret remains for the Hotshots before they can think about moving on to this Nexus. 10 seconds left on a lot of the people for the Cyphers. I don't think it will be enough. They're biding their time, playing with their food a little here, but I think that will be all she wrote.
Yeah, they're able to close out this game here, and this is maybe.
Wait. This is it. This is the final chance. The last gasp defense. Sykes can't quite find the last auto. I don't believe it. They played with their food for too long, and I'm trying to find out the HP on the Nexus. I can't get it up.
86 it
but,
was, 86.
Oh, my days. My days. What a tiny amount of HP. They toyed with their food a little long. And they get burned for their hubris. But here comes Super Big Fan. He's looking to do it all by himself. He's got a Jhin trying to offer support in the backside. That healing is insane. He gets the double. Ash trying to get something but can't do it. It's a quadra kill for Jax. Jhin approves, offering himself those assists. And now they will clean it up. It got a little sloppy towards the end. They had their fun, but they will secure the game in 23.5 minutes. 35 kills to 12. An absolutely dominating win there for the Hotshots, who look very damn good as an undefeated team. And of course,
Very
at this point, we're moving straight to the post game, and that means we bring Milky back to assist us here.
And oh, right.
Yeah, I think this is a really good game. The hot shots. I said to them about trying to close this game out early, and 23 minutes still with a Jack squad kill inside of the base. They definitely showed that.
It definitely was.
I'm
It was
back.
He is
am
back. There we go. That cursed
You know what the
mute
funny
button.
thing is, Sam? The
Yes,
funny
tell me.
thing is, I actually came back. I pressed unmute and I said, and this time I remembered to unmute. And then
Congratulations.
it turned out my entire Discord screen just froze. It was like, no, you shall not unmute.
Alas,
So I had,
2020 is here for you.
It really is. But yeah,
Tell us your
what a
thoughts.
game.
Absolutely. I mean, analysts, my friends, break it down. What happened, guys? Milky, I'll turn to you first, as you obviously didn't get a chance to chat during the game. So your eyes as an outsider, what were your kind of impressions of what happened there?
First thing I want to point out is obviously, we look to
The winning side of the Hotshots, who proved why they are the Hotshots. And I want to look towards on that threat, because one thing that I was very pleased with what he did, and I think kind of sets an example of things that you can do in this patch, in this preseason, is that he didn't go for that mythic item straight away. And I know a lot of people think that you have to go for that mythic item, and yes, like 95% of the time, go for that mythic item as your first item. But in the case of Thresh, he went for that Zeeks, and Zeeks has been buffed so much coming into this preseason. Every time you immobilize an enemy for the next 4 seconds, someone is going to be doing a lot more damage. And when you're that far ahead, as Hotshots and the bot lane in particular was, that is just so big. And you can even pair that on, for example, the Jacks in the top lane, and all of a sudden people are blowing up. You don't need the shield from the locket. The other thing to remember is with these mythic items, they stack and they scale depending on how many legendaries you have. So,
of course, yes.
Via cost effectiveness, you could even say it's better to buy 2 or 3 legendaries and then a mythic. So, a lot of ways to play around, and we're seeing one of those courtesy of Psych.
Yeah. Thank you for the in-depth analysis on that one. It's good to have that chance, because of course, poor old Sutty here was listening to me yell at the multitude of fights. It was a very red day on the Rift today with the amount of kills. So maybe this time you get a little bit of chance to give me an extended point, because you don't really have all that much chance on the Rift, buddy. Tell me about the other side. What was going on with the Cyphers, and give me some bright spots. What were the kind of opportunities for them in that game?
Yeah, we saw it a couple of times in the mid lane. It was the Annie with jungle. That was really the strong point. If they were able to push out those waves and go and help the side lanes and really stop this Jax and the Thresh, it was the Thresh, not the Jhin, snowballing. If they were to go to the side lanes, maybe then they were able to stop the snowball and pick up some of those early Drakes. But they weren't able to. This Vladimir ended up picking up some kills in some of the skirmishes, which really propelled him towards that first mythic item, which was really interesting to see. So I think the Annie and the Heckrim can hold their heads up and say they tried at least.
Yeah, it was some good choices. Absolutely that early turnaround gank in the bot side from Bald was good stuff. It was good heads up play and kind of response to some aggression in that bot side. But I think at this point we probably do have to turn our eyes towards that top lane. Probably don't have that much time here though, guys. So let's keep this one swift. Tell me about super big fun on the Jacks. This guy went off this game. Either one of you guys can pick this one up.
Yeah, I'll go for it, because I don't have to say much, because I think we're gonna have it, which will be exciting, because he snowballed this game out of control. I think he was 17-1 at the end of that. He picked up a quadra kill, and he showed his proficiency on the champion into that Fiora matchup, which I said was a skill matchup, and he showed some real skill there.
He managed to pull off a full 11,000 more damage than the next highest person on the enemy team. That's quite the stat, I feel, guys.
Rather a lot of damage.
Yeah.
All right, and I think with that, guys, we're going to be able to throw it off to Lord Flab, who's got an interview with Rectorical, the support from the sadly defeated Cyphers, who'll be able to give you a little bit more internal, intimate insight on how that game went. We'll see you after this.
Thank you very, very much, Initialize, Milky Cereal, and Jordan Sutty. What a great game. I just want to start Rectorial by giving you some condolences. It's never an easy thing to lose a game. although I must admit there's still plenty more games to come. So I just wanted to ask you the first question. What are your thoughts about this current patch? You know, we've only had maybe about, I don't know, maybe 14, 16 hours to sort of really get into it. And I can't imagine you've been able to play for the last 16 hours straight. So any initial thoughts on this patch so far?
Honestly, it's actually pretty good. The new items kind of give it a different feel with like a load of new builds. So it's always more fun to like, you've got different ways you can play a game, depending on the matchup. It's not just the same meta builds all the time.
Brilliant. So getting in a little bit to the game here, what are your thoughts after this game against Hotshots? What do you think went well? What do you think maybe not so well, in your opinion?
Honestly, I think our comms were a bit not there, I feel like, because all of us were just, some of the lanes weren't doing well, and we weren't obviously, like, you know, when like things aren't going well, you're going to get a bit heated.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of that, but then honestly, their team play was really good. I feel like their bot lane was smashing it. The Thresh with the hooks was really good. So I can't say that like it wasn't well earned. Like they done their best for that game, so it's understandable they won.
Definitely. I think one of the main things you just pointed out there was not looking at the top lane. Legit, the Thresh player this game was on another level. It was almost as if Hotshots had substituted their support player for someone like Madlife. You know, it was a little bit disgusting to say the least. So
No, I know.
the next question I've got for you is there anything in particular that you've probably learned from this match that you'd like to take into your next game?
Honestly, my support picks. I feel like Thresh is actually a lot of a stronger champ than I thought he was. So I feel like he's most likely going to be someone I might try and pick up and learn. But I don't know. I think just everyone's got to try and keep a cool head. That's the only other thing I can really take out of this game.
That's understandable. I'm running out of time, so very, very quickly. In your own words, what do you think the future of the game is looking like?
It's looking bright, I'd say. There's so much more you can do now in terms of matchups and fights and builds. I feel like everything's going to change and people are going to have a lot more fun, I think.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much, Rectorial, and commiserations once again. Thank you so much for joining me. Jumping back over to the analyst desk very quickly now for the MVP of the game. Oh, sorry. No, it's not. It's the next interview. So let's just bring in Hotshots player, please. Hello. Nice to meet you. How are you doing today, my friend?
Hello. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, I just wanted to start by congratulating you. It was definitely a well-earned victory. A lot of chaos going around across the map. It seemed as though the top lane started to hemorrhage a little bit on the side of CONEL with your player. It was absolutely disgusting to see this Jax start off going 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and then all of a sudden he finishes the game with a quadra kill. You must be feeling really good right now.
Yeah, of course. You did really well, to be honest, so it was nice to see that. I think, in my opinion, the Jax Fiora matchup is very Jax favoured, so I feel like he played it really well. So
yeah, it seems to be there's a little bit of a skill matchup there, but Jax definitely does have the potential to just completely snowball ahead in the game.
Yeah.
So I just want to bring attention away from your lane in particular. Was there anything you sort of felt within the comms that led to how well your bot lane was playing? Because that Thresh was doing some disgusting work, you know?
Yeah. So I think they just communicate really well, in my opinion. So they played together well. They were shot calling together. They were making sure they were doing the right plays. They weren't doing anything like stupid. So I think we just played well as a team overall, and they played really well. So yeah.
Fantastic. So just before I jump off into our next segment of the evening, very quickly, in your own words, what do you think the future holds for this game? Is there any particular challenges that you've faced so far?
For League of Legends, I mean, I think it's mainly the items, because like I was just, even in the game, I was just confused a lot. Like I was just looking at the items, like what's going on, because I haven't had a lot of time to look over them, obviously. So yeah, I think once you crack down the items, it should be back to normal again, hopefully.
Fantastic. So I just want to say congratulations once again. And on a side note, there is a little bit of a host bias because I am literally down the road from you guys. So congratulations again. So
Thank you.
I'm going to take it over to the MVP now. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
I do appear to be muted, but thank you for the heads up there from production. I pulled a milky cereal there, but fortunately we are back. It's good to be around and about. And like again, it was an interesting series to watch, that one, but I think we do have to start thinking about where on earth we're going to see the rest of the table. Obviously, there was a little bit of a discrepancy there in some of the levels, and things got a little bit challenging for some of those lanes. And I want to see a game where things end up a bit more even, I think, Sati, Milky, where we get to see some of these legendary items going at it, or mythic items rather, going at it in a more even state of game.
Yeah, I think I think it was more so Heckmondwike really showed off these mythic really well. The Triforce and the would see something, and and even towards not going towards the mythic items, but I think I'm going to start to look at towards the MVP, and for me it has to be the Jax in the top lane. Played so well. He got a quad kill at the end. It was, I want to say, a 1v4, but he was able to see being there, and there was so much pressure on that top lane. Yeah,
I think at this point as well, guys, we do need to start having this conversation about MVP. I think in all our heads, it probably has to go towards Super Big Fan. That Jax on the top side was something pretty special.
He did have a very good performance, but I'm going to flip over to the other side of the rift. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that Super Big Fan isn't MVP. I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. But I think it's very, very close because Cyclone that Thresh had a fantastic performance.
He really did.
And there's this mental advantage that you gain. When you go out into lane and you throw that death sentence and you instantly land it, and then you land another one, you just put fear into the hearts of your enemies, and for the entire game you now have the advantage, and every time you throw out that hook, the enemy team knows that they're going to get hooked down, they're going to get locked down. So it was a very good performance. A bit of supporter bias coming in from me, but I think it's very close. But for me, it just about goes to Cyclone the Thresh.
Okay, interesting. Well, that leaves us as a little bit of a tiebreaker here. I know we've got a vote from Lord Flab in chat who's saying he's got it for the Jax. Yourself, Sutty, tie-breaking out of this one. What are you thinking?
I love the Thresh throwout, but and as support main, I'd love to give it to him, but it can't be. This Jax was so strong. 3 solo kills, and that was only in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes or something, and the quadra kill. For me, it's the Jax for the MVP in that game.
Why supports are underrated? They get no love.
I mean, absolutely worth the shout. Sykes was fantastic. He was so good in this game. But with that decision made, we're going to go on a bit of a swift break. We'll be right back with game 2 of the evening. Now we've had that MVP discussion.
ready with game 2, blah, 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 and then go to cut.
Thank you very, very much, guys, for tuning in once again to the British Esports Association's League of Legends stream. I really do hope you've enjoyed the first game so far between Cyphers and Hotshots, and what a game it was. However, we've now got to talk about the next game that's coming up here, which is Bridgewater Taunton College versus Chimp House College. Two colleges, both these guys are looking fairly similar in terms of their overall ranking, but let's be honest here. Rank is just a number, and we shouldn't always consider that to be the main point of any focus. So, bringing our fantastic casters back in once again, we have got Sam, initialize Hapgood.
Hello, hello. I'm glad to be back. My voice is holding up just about after that.
In particular that stood out to you that you're maybe thinking, okay, these two teams that are about to compete now might want to consider picking something up? Example, that Jax looked absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I think the current way that Trinity Force adds stacking damage on auto attacks, already stacking up with the way that Empower and Grandmaster's Might and all the rest of it works, definitely a bit dangerous right now, especially if you know what you're doing. Jax has been floating around the meta a little bit. Look to say Bin over on, I was going to call it SOFM, but of course Suning are more than their jungler. A little bit rude there, but it's definitely been seen around. So if you know what you're doing, yeah, maybe. Definitely an option, especially if you back yourself in a skill matchup.
Yeah, I think these bruises in the top lane, I think. But you know, the player in this game, he's playing some Darius and Mordekaiser, and he's so it'll be interesting to see that up.
Just going on from that, gents. Okay, so we're seeing the Jaxes hovering around a little bit. Maybe we're seeing potential of the Mordekaiser coming in. I want to take our attention now away from this top lane. So there doesn't seem to be an overall major difference that's happened in terms of the jungle mechanics in this game. But is there any particular jungler that is standing out to you or screaming at you right now with the change of the items that could say, you know what, this could be really powerful? Basically, what I'm trying to say to you is there any jungle pick that we might not have seen or heard about that you have got in mind which could appear?
So I've been hearing rumors, and I don't know whether Sutty's going to agree on this, but I've been hearing rumors that potentially something like a Master Yi could end up in a pretty terrifying state right now with the likes of Navari Quickblade, particularly basically meaning that crit strikes reduce your ability cooldowns, which means you just get Alpha Strike all the time. You're getting true damage all the time. And you can stack that up with some very interesting items. And very, very quickly, you just hit reset city just off auto-attacking people. And that can be a terrifying thing. Maybe.
Yeah, that Kraken Slayer, there's a mythic. Every 3 autos, he's just doing crazy. Yeah, I've heard the same. Scary. I think the other one, you know, another AD jungle. They've been Dustblade of Drakthar changes where you go invisible after you get a kill, and imagine that on Kha'Zix resetting his passive. You know, if you're able to upgrade that ultimate, that's potentially 3, 4, 5 invisibilities. And,
absolutely nuts.
That's not very fun to play against, at least. Maybe.
Yes. I know some people as well. Like I myself play a lot of Evelyn in the jungle. I've not had a lot of time with her, but I've been seeing some like self-made saying, yeah, Leandri's Anguish on that champion rushing death cap after is just a lot of damage. So maybe something like that is an option here. And I know we've got an Eve player in Natrix in the next game as well, so maybe an option there.
Oh, so Evelyn is sounding like a potential pick here. So without trying
I could
to
be
give away
biased.
too much.
No. Like throw that straight out there. I could well just be entirely biased.
Well, you see now in terms of bias, I'm a fantastic Pike player, and you know
beautiful.
what? With the amount of lethality items in the game right now, is
absolutely.
there anything wrong with saying a Pike jungle could come out? That sounds absolutely ridiculous, I know, but it's still
Way
a
back
possibility, you know? It's
one
definitely
can hope.
there.
One can hope.
You never know. Maybe not Pike jungle, but Pike support. I forgot the name of the item. There is a support item that will execute when below 5% HP.
Yes, there is indeed. I'll have a quick look for that one myself. So if you give me 5 seconds, you guys keep chatting. I'll go see if I can find it. It's a pretty terrifying item.
I'd just like to say then, just while he's looking up for that item, why don't we talk just a little bit about the opportunity once again with these lethality items, a Pantheon support. because we've seen it before. It was supposed to get somewhat nerfed, and well, this new patch, these lethality items, that Pantheon could look very scary very, very quickly, you know?
Yeah, it definitely could. Pantheon already very strong. Just his raw stats, his empowered abilities on things like W, so damn strong. His ability to roam, so damn strong. And that item you were looking for is the 3,000 gold, namely the Collector, which dealing damage that would leave an enemy below 5% health executes them, which is pretty scary when you already have all those executes built into someone like Pike. There we go. That's the name I was looking for.
Yeah, I think.
Fantastic.
I
Sorry,
believe it's another lethality item. Lethality. Umbral Glaive is still in the game, which is really strong, pairing up with Zombie Ward. But yeah, the Duskblade changes, it sounds fancy, going invisible. Sounds good on anything, really.
Yes, it is. It's terrifying. And obviously, people like Kha'Zix, we were kind of mentioning, his passive basically means he just does more damage if he's invisible for any given amount of time. Synergized well with Duskblade. You could do some scary stuff.
Super scary stuff indeed. So it looks like we're going to be loading on into the draft phase in just a second, guys. So I am going to dip out, but just before I leave you two to yet another fantastic cast, I just want to say, watch out for the wild Teemo mushrooms that might appear in the jungle because they are poisonous and can hurt. So I'll leave you to it. Good luck with the cast, guys.
Thank you.
That little bit of mysterious knowledge there. Do indeed avoid the weird mushrooms in the jungle. I think that's probably just good plans for life in general. But yeah, keep your eyes out on the stream as we do head into picks. And once again, just me and you, Sutty, and we have, of course, got Team Bridgewater and Taunton over on that blue side, and Woodhouse College over on the red. What a name they've chosen for their squad. Looking now for our first bans of the game.
The Riven's taken away. As I said, Albi is a Riven one trick, 895 games this patch, this season, sorry. So no surprise to see that taken away.
All right, it's gone away. Curious enough, we're going to see the Morgana banned off on the other side. That leaves us in an interesting spot. We're going to wait and see what's going on now. Of course, Morgana with something like the new support item in... I'll go find that one. It's the one that basically means if you mobilize someone, you do so much extra damage. I believe it's Imperial Mandate is the one I'm thinking of. Yep, you can do some dumb stuff with that, of course. Cassiopeia also off the table, been seeing some increased damage buffs. Riven, as we mentioned. Brand as well. These damage AP supports off the table now.
Yeah, the Cassio banned. That's 2 games in a row the Cassio's been banned. I think it's Jones who is the Cassio player on that team. So no surprise to see that banned away.
Oh, okay, we can see those gone. Kaiser, as you kind of mentioned, I kind of curious to see what those first picks will be. And we'll see how it all goes. Of course, BTC now with that first pick have got some choices to make. They've banned the Fiora, obviously, which means we're not going to see a rematch of the Jax Fiora madness that was in the last game. See how it goes. Maokai thrown out as the first pick, and that immediate Evelynn, my particular pick in the jungle, showing up here in the competitive scene once again. I'm very excited to see how it plays out with all these new items and see how it works out. Senna as well being picked up. She can be a little dangerous for something like the Black Cleaver right now. Of course, she stacks it so damn fast, and with that additional missing HP damage you get when you get those fully stacked Black Cleaver passive, you can do so much stuff with it. Amumu was the response. Such a big ticket ultimate in that Curse of the Sad Mummy. It's a lot of CC already for BTC.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're happy that the Evelyns come.
I am very happy, sir.
Natrix, as you mentioned, big player, and he wasn't banned out. He was able to pick it. I think the center pick is interesting. I didn't have him down as a center player, and into the Maokai was an interesting choice. But as you said, going towards the Black Cleaver can maybe help deal with the tankiness of the Maokai. With the Lux, who I expect to be support coming out, who's a really strong support at the moment. It was Milky talking about the Enchanted supports being quite strong at the moment, and then answered it by the Tarm Kench.
Now, we'll kind of keep our eyes and see how it all plays out, of course. But yes, absolutely, the Lux comes in. I heard Lux, well, generally pretty good into Tahm Kench. She just gets rooted in place all the time. But Senna Tahm does a lot of poke, a lot of slows. Not a bad combo in and of itself. It's been kind of a perennial staple in the bot side across Season 10 in general. So not an entire surprise to see it out, but it is now a focus towards, interestingly, those AD carries, despite the fact that Senna has already been picked. Is that a sense that maybe Caitlyn has become more of a solo lane option with things like the Sanguine Blade and stuff being pretty damn strong? I've definitely seen it once or twice in my solo queue endeavors over the last day or so, but that's not exactly what you'd call a competitive environment.
No, I think I'd go towards the side of maybe it was just a small mistake. Not noticing the Senna already come through. I thought they would go, ban out some AD mid laners as they already have the Evelynn. Evelynn is much stronger as when she's the only AP champion in the game.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, as the enemy team won't want to itemize any magic resist. They'll want to itemize the armor. And I expect them to maybe pick up a Lucian or a Yone here. These are the two AD options for Jones. Sorry, mixture of Yone and his name, which would be very exciting. Yone we haven't seen yet as the Camille comes out. Very nice.
And yeah, indeed, it will be the Camille. There's that AD threat. There's that mixed damage. Camille locks someone in the Hextech ultimatum, sets you up for a last caress. Send you straight back to the Death Realm. Topside focus definitely coming through right now for the likes of Chimp House. Leaving that center Tahm Kench probably where they'll want to be focusing. On the other side, though, Tristana locked in, interestingly enough. And they are highlighting a Pyke here. I don't know whether they'll actually lock it in, but they are going to. And that means we're likely seeing a Lux mid lane.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you're going to see something weird like Tristana being flex mid. I know we're not in the VCS here, but it's been done before.
It has been done, but I think I expect this Tristana to go towards bot lane. I quite like the Pyke pick into Tahm Kench. It's quite good. It's quite a natural counter, and it's quite exciting to see the Pyke. We spoke about some of the new items, so it's exciting to see him. The Orianna, who is an AP mid, I expected the AD mid, but maybe they'll look to play towards the side lanes a bit more and have Orianna clear waves in the mid lane.
That's probably a fairly good shout. Of course, remember now that we are into this spectator delay, we can bring back the one and only Milky Cereal. Good to have you again, Milky.
Good to be back, and well, the draft has gone a little bit spicy. I'm going to go and touch straight on this Evelynn pickup because
Please do.
For those people who don't know me, aside from my support shenanigans, I spam Evelynn in the jungle.
Beautiful. I knew I liked you, Milky.
I know, we're vibing right here. I know Mars Swan's in the chat, and he might be having some different opinions. We played some solo queue games, and they didn't go great.
You're probably wishing I was there playing with him, alas.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so when I was talking to some Grandmaster coaches, or coaches for some Master/Grandmaster teams,
oh yes,
about this new patch and essentially assassins. And the topic came to Evelynn, and essentially what their words were is that AP junglers are garbage.
Yes.
And I can't remember exactly what they were going for, but it was to do with the fact that right now the gold efficiency of them getting their initial items just isn't there. So they think that it's better to go for stuff like, your Hecarim or your Kha'Zix, where you can get those items and be more impactful, because with this current patch, it's lethality that seems to be the thing that's completely broken. And seems to be the thing that's going to be absolutely rampant, not magic penetration. And I really, really want to see this Evelynn pop off because it'll kind of tell me, yes, I can still play Evelynn, but I am at the same time a little bit cautious of it.
Yeah, I think there's possibly some truth to that with the way things were. Of course, the old spike was Runic Echoes and Boots, and the likes of Lilia, of Evelynn were good to go until they could buy that second big ticket item, be that a Liandry's, be that a Death Cap, of course, for Evelynn. So you just don't have that same spike anymore with the way the current items are. You're kind of waiting to get towards that Mythic, and then you need some Legendaries after that. It's just not the same as, say, getting a Dirk, and you're already pretty strong as a lethality user. That's just not the same options here, really, for the likes of Evelynn. But of course, you can get your way towards something like a Liandry's Anguish, get yourself towards a Death Cap second, as I've been seeing from one or two of the pros, self-made, of course, most notably over from Fnatic, then maybe you can still do something with that. So we'll see whether Milky's warnings prove true. But on the other side, Sutty, your own impressions about where this kind of draft has left them. Seeing a lot of team fight CC over BTC.
They do a lot of big team fight ultimates with the Amumu and the Maokai. I think they've got generally weaker champions. Even though it's a new patch, these champions generally don't perform as well compared to a lot of new champions. We're seeing Senna, Camille, Tom Kench on the other team, and the Camille is a really strong counter into the Pyke. So I'm still going towards the Camille team, but it'll be interesting to see. I really like the AP jungle shout out from Milky there.
Okay, we'll see how that plays out. I suppose on the other side, though, maybe we get a chance to talk a little bit about what Woodhouse College want to do, because you can see they've left that center Tom Kench, relatively stable lane that can stay by itself, and in the mid game, you can move it to the mid lane and just teleport somewhere with that Abyssal Voyage, have the railgun come down, but surely this will be Evelyn and Camille basically holding hands and playing to topside, you'd think, right?
What we're seeing from Gym House is they've got a lot of late game scaling. With this Camille, that will be such a nuisance in the late game, in that side lane. Your Oriana, your Senna, and your Evelyn as well, because obviously that Evelyn's not going to be doing much, at least until it gets to level 6. Chimp House in this early stage of the game, they need to make sure that they don't give away a lead, because this Pyke is going to be finding picks, is going to be rotating all over the map. So for Chimp House, I really just want to see them playing. I just want to see them playing sensibly, just making sure that Evelyn doesn't get invaded by this Amumu, courtesy of the lane pressure that the BTC bottom lane of this Tristan and Pyke will be able to find. So the first 10-15 minutes are going to be so pivotal in this match.
All right. That's what you're keeping your eyes on. The first 10-15 minutes. Can Senna and Tom Kench survive the likely shove from a Tristana Pyke? Hell, hit that level 2, hit a couple good hooks and a bomb and a hop in, and things start getting scary down the bot side. On the other side, can PK Powers hold himself up against the aggression of Albi Unleashed and, of course, Natrix, who we suspect will be turning up around there. Of course, Amumu as well. Not necessarily the strongest early game jungler. Let's see what he can get done as well. See how it plays out. Now as we're loading onto the Rift. Sutty, any more thoughts anywhere else you think we ought to be keeping our eyes?
I think the mid lane matchup could actually be quite
Okay.
good. If she's able to use her range advantage with the Q, move around and get lane priority, I think it'll be really important for this Evelyn to get her to that level 6, and where she can really pop off and make plays towards the sidelines, as we said, away from the AP user in the.
Okay, so keep yourself away from the AP user, get that mixed damage, that'll be your key, see how it plays out. But until that time, as we're loading onto the Rift, we'll see how it actually works in practice, because one thing about League of Legends, it's all well and good theorizing, it's all well and good telling people, yeah, this is how it should go. Best laid plans and contact with the enemy is a long-standing difference of opinion. So we'll see how, of course, it works here on this particular stage, on this particular match between Team BTC and Woodhouse College. Sisping coming out already early on, with Evelyn heading over to a top side start, not a bot side start. And with all that as well, Milky, you might have a final chance for a word before you disappear. Quickly, my now.
Let's go Pyke! There we go.
Easy access. We wanted that one. The easy statement. Let's go Pyke. The support main who also plays Evelyn in the jungle. Surprise, surprise. Wants the AD assassin support to get rolling. I'm not sure whether that's an analytical point or a biased point, but we'll move on from that. Onto the Rift now. 5-man fan junglers, both starting on their rub buff set. Sutty, that a surprise to you?
I think it is. I do think the blue side here, BTC, do have quite a strong early game, and you are going to want to look to put behind this Evelyn. So
Sure.
I wouldn't mind an early game invade game. I think the next thing to talk about is interesting to see the Tristana go towards the Halo Blades. This is a very aggressive bot lane with the Pyke and the Tristana. Obviously, they picked it into the Tom Kench, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, as it's such an aggressive lane.
It is. I've got to call it a slight surprise here that it's an exhaust on Pyke and no ignite in the lane. I mean, honestly, when I've seen this kind of lane before, I've seen ignite on or exhaust on Tristana and then the ignite on the Pyke, but they've actually gone for the level 1 bush bait. Get that explosive charge on to Senna, who gets to walk away, but takes a bit of a chunk for herself. That's not the greatest start, as Natrix has a leashless start in the jungle. Does not use the smite, though. Interestingly, will move over to the Krugs and look for that full clear that Hecarim can do.
Yep, you know, this is a standard full clear from the Evelyn. She's going towards that red buff start. It is interesting to see the leashless, especially as you know, in this new season, the jungle camps really do hit that much harder. They're so much harder to clear. So it is interesting to see her go towards that leashless as there's a fight in the top.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage out of the Camille. Precision Protocol does so much damage with that as the Bone Skill comes through into the Phantom Undertow. Black Cape has to have Gab's cool burn that heal to keep him from being in serious trouble there. We called out the aggression in the bot side, and thus far it's proving true. And Natrix still a long way from being able to contest this lane, only just now finishing up the Raptors. Another hookshot landing at the top side as well. PK Power is taking a lot of damage. Is in kind of his own, and that top side is Phantom Undertow going in, but the Black Mist does a lot of work, or rather Last Embrace. I apologize, getting my ability names wrong. Cardinal sin for a play-by-play caster. But yeah, kind of playing out as we expected with lane pressure on, kind of being traded across different sides of the map here.
Yeah, exactly. It's this a very aggressive bot lane that it is getting the pressure for BTC using that Pyke with a Halo Blade Tristana. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and hopefully Amumu can use this pressure to get that bot side crab, and trade sides of the map and still be strong.
Evelyn just finishing up her Grampus, and Mumu is doing exactly what you said and starting on what is likely that Scuttle Crab and will be around this top side to try and stymie the pressure as Albi goes forward looking for that flash, but can't quite find the second part of the Precision Protocol, but flashes down for both of these top laners.
Yeah, the flash burn from the Maokai, but it is that Camille trading really strongly with the true damage from the second part of the Q. Obviously, Maokai will get very tanky in this lane, but he does have to itemize towards both the AD and the AP, because if Evelyn does go up there, he's going to take a lot of magic damage. So it'll be interesting to see how the Maokai itemizes in this game.
Sure, Evelyn as well, if you check out the minimap, managed to make her way in to go for a Raptor steal there. But wait, we're going to see Noke go forward with the deep walk to dive. Looking for something, gets the bow skill over his head. Exhaust coming down. There's the rocket jump as well. Black Cape flashes, but survives. But now AM Voz taken very low. Just about survives that piercing darkness's flash on Gab's Cool if he wants to go for it. Bow skill lands onto the Tom Glitch, but not quite enough damage. And I think that will be BTC taking a little bit more than they can chew there, as both sides' HP bars so desperately low.
Yeah, I think this is really good from Chimp Houses. They're absorbing so much pressure in the bot lane. They're not dying. The Senna here still has her flash. Maybe another bone skewer, but no. But look at this, and the Tristana is trying to get those early plates, but she's just so low. She's gonna have to base on this wave, and even though they've been pushing the tower, the CS is completely equal.
Okay, well, just about surviving for now. Hoping against hope to hold things on. Evelyn still farming up, but so is the Amumu, who's doing just happily no threat against this scaling jungler who desperately wants that level 6 to get a hold of that big ticket ultimate in the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Trading in this top side, though, avoiding the twisted advance with the hookshot so nicely. All right. With all things said and done, no ganks, no kills, just a slight CS lead, or rather gold lead over from laning stats to the side of Chimp House College early on in this game.
Yeah, and I think this is a good thing for Chimp House. The Evelyn has just got to completely... She's already 7 CS ahead. She's level 5. She has 2 smites before she's able to upgrade that smite, as they're still trading away in the top lane. Camille using that passive to get the shield, but it's Evelyn just full clearing constantly. She started on that red buff. She's already cleared a second Krugs, and she'll be towards that 6, which upgrades her passive. But she'll also have that last caress, which will just blow up the bot lane and even the Lux.
Yeah, completely true. And you can see going towards that Hextech alternate as well probably means she's going to go towards Night Harvester. Maybe the Proto Belt. Of course, Proto Belt Evelyn. Kind of an off-meta thing anyway from recently. So we'll see how that one goes. We're going to see if anything else
Yeah, they are able to take 2 plates there in the bot lane. You know, we said that they were able to absorb some of that pressure, but you know, 2 plates, that is quite a lot of gold. You know, so they are you know, benefiting from all the pressure they've had here in this lane. Evelyn though coming in for a gank here. We'll see if they can get anything done. The charm onto Tristana.
She's got the level 6 as well. Looking with the allure proc, but actually doesn't go onto that target. Going into no cape, but can't get the damage. Flash burned from no cape, but nothing else going on.
Yeah, it's the heal out of Tristana, and it's able to you know, increase the
back. Looking for more, but there is the Phantom Undertow looking for more damage. Hate Spikes goes in. There is the empowered Whiplash as well, but it's just pressure, it's just damage, nothing else that comes through.
Yeah, they are also, like, you know, stopping the Tristana pike lane from, you know, really pressuring the Tahm Kench, which is, you know, the really strong point in this lane. And you know, this is it. We see the Evelyn. She's just hit level 6, and they're even going to get this first. The Amumu, who, you know, has been looking for some of these ganks, but hasn't been able to make any.
Ooh, shock wave comes out from Corriday, who immediately burns the barrier in response. Maybe looking for a trade back, but no chance there right now. Okay, so we called it out in draft, or at least I did, and maybe I was just wrong, but this Evelyn has not focused the top side, but hasn't seemingly needed to, as the Camille has been quite happy in the top side to find her own advantage. Up 20 CS, went to the early Sheen purchase, which is only 700 gold now, guys. Of course, doesn't have the same CDR it used to, but still has that Spellblade passive, and that's just cheap damage on someone like Camille, who wants to abuse precision protocols. Procs anyway, looks for the hook shot, tries to wait out the aftershock, can't quite. But early on, gold pretty much neck and neck, no kills. It's a Drake over to Woodhouse College, but that is the only real discrepancy, at least at a team level right now.
Yeah, exactly. As Oriana taking a lot of damage there, but I actually still think that an advantage for Woodhouse as a better scaling team. You know, the Senna scales infinitely.
Sure.
You know, I think you know, to counter your point, I actually think Evelyn maybe should have gone.
Oh my day, Boss Man falls down. It is a sad state of affairs there, as the empowered auto from Corriday does get the kill, but Natrix in behind, going for the behind the lane gang, walks the right way to stay alive. Oh, Hate Spike misses, but the charm lands anyway. Looking for the shield, the root is there. That is the slow. Can't get the kill, and she stays alive and gets it in return. What a disaster. Can't find the kill. She had Smite available as well. Natrix got greedy. Corriday gets out, and it is 2 kills on the Lux out of nowhere.
Yeah, we saw it was the Lux fighting in the minion wave. That's what that was. Was able to change as, you know, Pyke maybe going down here.
But return fire. Amvoss heading forwards. The flash out from Gabscool so low, but that is the kill on Tristana. No cape falls back to Black Cape. The HP so low, and the teleport now coming in. There's flash. There's Hextech ultimatum. The slow from the tongue lash is a lot, but that teleport was interrupted by P. Power on the top side, but now he's in a bit of trouble and looking to stay alive. The Twisted Fans goes the wrong way. The Hextech ultimate comes through, but it's just too close to tower. A little bit late on that particular ability means that out gets Maokai. In goes the Twisted Advance. There is a shield, but here comes a Mumu. He's a very sad robot, but Albi unleashes with the Hextech ultimatum. The Railgun comes through, and Natrix is here as well. That charm lands, and goodbye, Amumu. You didn't want that particular hug, I don't think, Mr. Mummy.
No, it's a kill going over towards the Evelyn, which is really important. You know, and it's really good that this Camille's been doing so well in lane, and she's drawing pressure now from the Amumu as well. This Maokai calling up his jungler, but they're able to turn around the play. I think that, you know, in the bot lane play, we haven't even been able to speak about that. Is Pyke is even go towards the mid lane, see if they can make this work.
There's the Phantom Undertow, doesn't quite land that speed up from the distance, keeping her alive for now. But there comes that Lucent Singularity with the final spark. Not enough to bring her down though, and Oriana survives despite the attempted gank.
Yeah, and I think it's Evelyn going towards the Rift Herald at the moment, which is really important. You know, it was a good player from Lux in the mid lane, but it's still Woodhouse getting the advantages with the first Dragon and now the first Herald.
Alright, so first Dragon, first Herald, and now no cake. looking to find a kill rather than some cape, but that's a charm in, but the return with the root is good. Corriday still low, but it's got the barrier. Has not managed to get the kill, but here comes Cameron looking to try and find something, but just misses with the bandage toss, and Natrix gets to walk away. Bones Cure lands, pulls back Black Cape, and the bot side fighting still as neck and neck and contentious as ever. The CS lead, though, is starting to come in for this Tristana now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, there has been 6 kills in this game, but it's interesting to see that maybe the Talon Kench. No, but it's interesting to see that there's been so much skirmishing. With the amount of fighting there's been, I expect there to be 12, 15 kills in this game because, you know, it's been all out action.
Alright, well, see how it all plays out from here. You would expect it, but just inches back and forth. I mean, the really huge play has been out of Corriday in the mid lane on this Lux, who has pulled out some stylish moves already. And I asked for a more even game when Mythics and start coming through, and it is a more even game. There is still the gold lead right now to Woodhouse College, who extend it further with the Rift Herald in mid, which is good news. It gets Evelyn further ahead. It gets this Orianna a little bit more even to the Lux with her 2 kills in infantry. All right, now I think we might be able to take a brief breather, or I would say that, if we weren't about to see a Cloud Dragon spawn in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think that play in the mid lane with Evelyn dropping the is really important. You know, she was behind in gold, even though the CS is quite equal. She was behind in gold because of the 2 kills, so, you know, to even up that gold, the Cloud Dragon is spawning, but it doesn't look like Chimp Houses will contest with it with Evelyn and the bot lane basing. And, you know, they've already given up that Scuttle Crab, so I think this one, you know, with the bot lane push, I think it'll go towards the way of BTC.
So a couple big item completions just in time for this Dragon start, but BTC are just quicker to the draw. Well, Evelyn is back in base, as is the Senna, so unless you see a Dawning Shadow come through, no chance to steal. And that evens up the Drake count for now. Good on Team BTC to track those back timers, but they were important back timers because it is the Night Harvester now complete for Evelyn. She's got her mythic item, and you can see Divine Sundra already complete for Albi Unleashed. Great anti-tank item. Will be pretty helpful versus the likes of this Maokai, but got rooted on the tower there. Gets a second proc of the Precision Protocol and does some rough damage to the Maokai, but stays alive, isn't cut down right now. But Natrix on the bot side looks for something. Bones Cure misses, Hate Spikes miss as well, and a bit of a missed execution on the bot side. Nothing comes of that from either team.
Yeah, but you know, the story is this top lane. There's a 40 CS. But not even just that. The Camille has already taken 2 plates in this lane. I thought it was still quite an even lane. Look at the damage that this Camille is doing with the second part of a Q. You know, the true damage. You know, you can build as much armor or HP as you want. I mean, the HP will help, but you know, the armor's not going to do anything against that true damage, and it's already starting to show.
And the Spellblade passive is not like you're used to, ladies and gents. Of course, it is a Sheen item, this Divine Sundra that she's built. But remember, her Spellblade basically does 10% max HP damage and gets improved Armor Pen and Magic Pen, which is just disaster for PK Powers trying to stay alive in this top side, but doing all right to survive right now. Will be hoping to get himself towards a flash in the mid lane. Never mind our discussion about top lane items. Barrier pop, but flash pop for this Evelyn. And Lux stays alive again. It's an engage, but it's the return fire from PK Powers. But once again, just even trading, but it's getting closer and closer.
Yeah, we see you know, the kind of split map. Evelyn going towards the top lane here. They may even go for a dive.
Well, don't even need it. The allure is there, but shredded is the tree, cut down and thrown into the wood chipper. It took them a little while to go towards what we expected to be the top side play, but it comes through. 2-0-1 is Camille, 0-2 and 0 is the Maokai, and Evelyn continuing to pick up some kill participation. But now Black Cape caught in place, takes a lot of damage. The explosive charge comes out, but that last embrace, rooted pike in place. Nothing left to be found though, just some HP trades, and of course it is a Tahm Kench, and he's got himself that thick skin to heal himself back up, even if he is still about that half HP threshold. But wait, Amvos is tired. He's going in, but the teleport is summoned from Camille, who's looking to try and turn this around. Okay, trying to get out with that Phantom under tow, but now in trouble. But the Hex Tech Ultimatum puts Tristana into the cage, and I don't think she was interested in the MMA fight. It is a double kill to Camille, and what is it, Sutty, with top laners getting stratospherically fed in our games today?
Today is a complete top lane diff, and I think, you know, it's been really well illustrated game with the draft from Chimp House, they picked a strong top side of the map with the Camille Evelyn combo, and they picked this safe lane in the bot lane as Orianna using the ult. She won't be able to pick up anything there, but it was that safe lane in the bot lane that's been able to absorb so much pressure from the Pyke and Tristana, and now that they've got their top lane tower, they've been able to TP down the Camille and now get their bot lane head as well. I really love the macro from this team. They played this early game out really well.
They have, but now Corriday needs to be a little bit afraid. Flashes away from the hookshot and stays alive. Corriday's been very slippery this game despite repeated attention. And all's well that ends well for now. The mid lane falls, but the Lux stays alive, but maybe steps too far forward this time. No Cake is there to offer some space, but stays alive and now pulled back in as Natrix trying to get back out. Last caresses away from the Nature's Grasp, but Albi unleashed. And, of course, No Cake in trouble. Albi going in. It's a 1v3, though, buddy. I know you're strong, but he does get at least one kill. It's a 1-for-1 right now as Tristana gets the Evelyn on the back end. But X marks the spot, and Camille goes down for a beautiful bounty over to Pyke and friends. And that makes the gold a touch more even. Still 3,000 gold, but that's some important shutdowns coming the way of BTC. Okay, can't find the bone skill that time, but never mind! It's still not off cooldown. You thought you were self, but death comes for us all. And that time it was from below, courtesy of Pyke and friends.
This is a really important play from BTC. They get themselves back into this game. They get the shutdown from the Camille, and it wasn't just that shutdown. It was the Pyke getting both of those kills, spreading that gold to his teammates. And there's the gold is a little bit more equal now. And the dragon is coming up now. Orianna, I'm not sure quite sure if she has that TP or not. But I still expect them to fight over this dragon coming up in a few seconds.
They should have known, Sutty. Pyke is from Bilgewater. He's a pirate by heart. And they were wandering in the river unsupervised. Jolly Roger comes up and they end up in a lot of trouble on the retreat there.
Yep, and we see them going towards this Infernal. They're using the tempo they have from the enemy bot lane basing.
Yeah.
They have to go and spend that gold as Amumu may just go for a steal. We'll see how...
He's down the level, though, and now he goes in, but the dragon now is secured. He flashes back out. See the light binding coming through, landing onto Albi Unleashed, but no chance there. There was no steal with the final spark, and that unfortunately leaves us with a Drake advantage. Well, rather unfortunate, rather, for BTC. Chimp House very happy with that pickup against the play that just went against them.
Yeah,
sorry, buddy, continue.
And from this, they're able to get the topside scuttle and the second Rift Herald. They were able to use that first Rift. I think the big thing to touch on is Camille. I don't think she's been top lane for like 5 minutes at least, and she still has a CS lead. As they are going to try and make a 4-man play in the bot lane.
They get the hook, but there is of course a Devour, but it's still a 1 versus 4. Sorry, 2 versus 4, but it will be a 1 versus 4 after a brief moment. Amvos gets that kill. Just a little overextended there, and the Devour being spat out the wrong way. A little bit frustrating. I know, of course, there was the final spark, but that's a frustrating one. Senna goes down for her the second time this game, but Corriday doesn't make the difference. Still gets charmed, still taken very, very low, but he doesn't wait out the shield. The barrier survives, and the root is fantastic. But there is a flash out of the Venom Undertow, but the Boon Skewer is still good. Stopwatch burn, keeping alive. Shockwave is there. That is a Devour as well, and Natrix pulls off a Corriday, staying alive. Double kill for the Orianna. What was looking to be a turnaround was turned around again, and I feel like I'm on a roundabout in this game as Albi at least going in, but he's very low HP. I know you've got some items, I know you've got some HP, but this is the extended dueling power that Camille can bring. What a brutal spike of true damage. I thought that Maokai was supposed to have the HP lead. What on earth happened?
Well, that's what we're talking about, the true damage with the Spellblade proc from the shield.
No. Oh, Cameron, beautiful stuff. But remember, Albi still got himself a railgun to keep himself alive. It looked nice. It was a blind... Well, it wasn't a blind hook. There was the ward in there. But Albi gets out. He gets the honey fruit and PK powers. And Cameron are left scratching their head, wondering, how on earth did Camille escape?
I mean, she's just that far ahead. She has the Merc Treads. To be honest, I'm not sure if they're Merc Treads or not.
They are Merc Treads. It's a new item. I know they look a little bit like old Sork boots, but you'll see the new sorcerers or the Sork boots are purple. You can see them in Lux and Oriana's and Evelyn's inventories right now. Snazzy purple glow that they have to them in their newly updated graphics.
Yeah, with the new items, I'm already questioning myself with items I'm supposed to. So it just shows how crazy it is. yeah, this Camille is really far ahead. They were able to use that second to get damage on the second tower there in the mid lane. You know, trying to open up this map even more for the Evelyn. Towers are down, and just gets even stronger because she can sneak behind and find really creative flanks and you know, maybe assassinate the Lux or the Tristana. I think I would like to see them make something on this Lux. The barrier has been so important, you know, to keep her alive against the Evelyn. So you know, whilst you know, hopefully they're able to time this barrier and they know it's down and they can try and make a play on the Lux here.
I've got to keep our eyes as well. That we've been a little remiss, my friend Sati. We haven't talked about items in a while. There's been a few important ones that have come through. Of course, Maokai's completed himself that Frostfire Gauntlet. Think old Iceborne, guys, if you want a rough idea. Luden's Tempest completed for the Lux, but we're going to have to take our eyes off it again because there's a fight going on. Albi goes in deep, but still doesn't quite secure the kill until he is taken desperately low, and Blackcake saves him. Camille pulls a Houdini one more time and knocked away by the Buster Shot is Tahm Kench, which kind of counteracts the Bone Skewer. And somehow, someway, Albi Unleashed goes in and gets out. Madness, I tell you, Sati.
We're starting to see the value of this Tahm Kench as maybe with the barrier down.
Continue, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're able to get anything here. But ooh, yeah, as we can see it as I'm saying it, the value of Kench has been in this game. You know, Camille gets out because of the Tahm Kench there, and it was the Evelyn play allowing the Evelyn to get out. And yeah, it's a really good play. We're seeing you know, this Camille is completely feeling himself. You know, he's going in 1v4. Notice he's got the backup of the Orianna from the mid lane, and you know, as the flashes burn from the Lux.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to really quickly try and get through some items because maybe, just maybe, they'll stop fighting for a second. One can hope. You can see that it's Eclipse in for Senna, the more dueling option, better in the extended fights. On the other side as well, you've got Kraken Slayer, which is all about the DPS in for Tristana. We mentioned the Luden's Tempest for Lux, but it's Liandry's Anguish first item for this Orianna, the better anti-tank option. The new Liandry's tournament, so much true damage burn. Consider one of the more powerful AP options. And that kind of will leave us roughly even as the Muramana transformation comes through for Senna as well. And that also applies to abilities now as well. That passive no longer just the auto, so very, very strong on Senna, who can auto Q auto and shred your HP bar to very low numbers very quickly.
Yeah, we see it Chimp House with the setup on this dragon, and you know, they're looking to get their second dragon of the game. It's interesting to see the Evelyn kind of teamed up. I'd like to see her maybe trying to find some kind of flank, and you know, find a pick on this Lux who she's already blown the flash from.
Alright, well, we'll see how it goes. There's still the barrier, there's still the shield, but Mumu steals the dragon and finds the curse of the sap, Muffy to boot. It's a shot down onto Black Cape, who's been having a fabulous game thus far, but Albi Unleashed goes into the backside, but will not get the kill this time. Too deep for once. It's a return kill from Orianna somewhere in the back end of that, but she falls to Maokai. It's 3 for 1 in favor of BTC, and they steal the dragon.
Yeah, and we see what happens when it's the Tahm Kench that goes down first. And even
Flash doesn't secure it, but now in goes the Tristana, who forgot that he had an lure on his head. Actually gets the 1 for 1 though somehow. Senna comes over with a blast bat and turns it around, but just a lot of burst damage. You can sort of see what Milky was alluding to. Evelyn doing okay, but there's none of that insane burst damage you'd expect of the 25-minute Evelyn anymore. There isn't the death cap in second here. There isn't the runic echoes, and it's saying that the likes of this Tristana with the 2 items can definitely look to turn it around on Evelyn, who goes in too deep.
I think you're exactly right. I think maybe in last season we see that Evelyn completely blow up the Tristana there. But you know, and off that play, you know, it's a massive play. As you said, it was a 3-1. I believe it was just the Pike going down. But you know, they're able to open up that mid tower, which is really important for them. They can, you know, look to contest the next dragon, you know, and really start contesting as this Tristana and even the Pike, you know, are really, you know, they've all got their mythic items and they're looking quite strong.
Yeah, of course. I asked for that more even game. We've got that more even game. It's 2-ish thousand, 1,500, let's be fair, to BTC at this point, that separates these two squads. Woodhouse College, obviously, with that slight advantage. They've got a terrifyingly strong Camille, but on the other side of it, breaks are even. this Samumu and this Maokai becoming more and more of a problem. There's a lot of CC here, and there's a lot of squishy members on Chimp College in the 5v5. Black Kate can't save the right people, then people can just disappear to sustained damage from Lux and Tristana.
Yeah, and we haven't spoke about it yet, but it is an infernal map, which is even better for this Evelyn. And she's already doing it now, but I really hope to walk into the enemy
But that's the
jungle.
smoke down. But wait, here comes Tristana. Can't find the damage, not to the execute threshold. And last caress isn't all that final, it turns out. Feels like another one of those Final Destination movies. I feel like we've been through about 30,000 of them at this point in the movie's franchise's history. And Evelyn, unfortunately, is following in that particular footstep.
Yeah, and the flash was actually burnt from Pyke, which he is a slippery champion, and the flash makes him be able to be even stronger. But that is down for the next 5 minutes. And I'll be down for which will be really important. So yeah, and I want to see Chimp House, clear their own jungle camps, and then get priority for this Evelyn to let her go and make plays on her own even. But just to have that backup. And this Camille, she's only going to get stronger, so I don't think they have to worry about snowballing this game too much.
Yeah, I've got to call out here a couple particular new items, namely, of course, the Demonic Embrace, that samurai-style helmet in Oriana's inventory. It's, generally speaking, being seen as a little bit more of a bruiser item, but Azkana's Gaze is something similar to the likes of Haunting Guys from last season. It is some MR and magic resist, which is always good if you're in combat, but you get that burn, that 1.5% max HP magic damage every 4 seconds is always nice stuff. Scales and synergizes super well with the Leandri's Anguish, looking to burn down the front line of Team BTC. Curious to see what you think about that pair of items on the Oriana.
Yeah, but it does seem to work to be working out 3-3 and 2. She'll be really strong in this team fight. We see the ball going on to Evelyn. It seems like a little deadly combo. I think we are seeing though that these items are affecting champions like the Evelyn. She lands a Q onto Pyke, but it's affecting her because we said this guy is an Eve player, and
she's
probably
face checking. She's in so much trouble. Tries to find a way, but the exhaust comes out. Amvoz gets it, and it's a 4th death for Natrix.
A little too deep there, a little too deep from the Evelyn. There's 4 people in that bot side jungle. Maybe she doesn't know that, but if they don't see it on the map, she has to expect that they're going to be there. But yeah, this dragon coming up in 20 seconds. Evelyn is not going to be here. I expect them to pick up their 3rd dragon.
Yeah, she's picked up the Blighting Jewel. That's the 15% magic pen. It's not Oblivion Orb of old. I apologize. It's percentage M pen, but at this point, with some of the resistance coming through, you got Banshee's Veils, you got Merc Treads and the likes on the opposing team. You can see why that decision is made, but Zhonya's and, of course, that Blighting Jewel, that's not a Death Cap. That's not a Lich Bane. That's not burst damage, which is what Evelyn made her name on in last season, and I think it is hurting her ability to find the burst plays. And at the minute, I don't think that Chimp College can come to contest this Drake all that easily. And there you have it. Second Drake, or second Infernal Drake rather, secured for BTC, who have come back into this game after the early deficit. And Camille, she's terrifying. She's so strong in the split push, but in these 5v5s, especially if you're getting picked off before them, Chimp College is starting to run out of some of these options as they ping towards Baron, Sutty. Is this a bit of a desperation play?
I'm not sure if it is. I think this is a really good play if they go for it. They know that BTC have to base after the Infernal. And
Mumu's on the boss. He's on Krugs. He's nowhere near.
He's on a ward as well. I would like to see them go for this. Yeah, this is a good play. I really like this. And even if they want to turn off this, Evelyn is going to look for a pick.
Going forwards, there's no exhaust. Gets the kill. That's what you need.
Yeah,
that time there was nothing to stop her.
Yeah, the Pyke is a really important part of this, important part of this team fight for BTC. He is really strong. So to see him go down,
He's not here.
I think
he's still not here. He recalled. He didn't go back. That's Maokai going, but takes so much damage. The true damage proc from that Divine Sunderer. So strong. Baron comes over, and after stalling, after picks and dragon losses, it is a big win for Chimp College.
Agreed. It's a massive win, especially as generally this center takes Baron very slowly. So to find an opening like that is really hard. because you need a lot of time. So it's a really great call. You know, we do have. I'm not sure if we have interviews after the game actually, but it'll be interesting to see who made that call, because it was a really fantastic one, and it kind of puts them maybe back in the lead of this game.
It certainly gives them some power to work with here. You can see as well this Camille working towards her third item and completes it as I talk about it. Another one of these new items. It's, I haven't heard how you pronounce this one yet, but I believe it's Cyrilda's Grudge. Nice Freljordian style item here. It's called a Passical Bitter Cold, my friend, which means that damaging abilities slow enemies for 30%. Always a little bit of a scary one. That 20 ability haste as well. People are not going to be able to run away from this Camille all that easy right now.
No, she's incredibly strong. She's level 15. I would like to see her go towards the side lane. She's currently the Tom Kench, but let's see them use this Baron effectively and open up the map even more, just to make this Evelyn possible to deal with.
Yeah. So Armor Pen in for the Camille, stacks up so well with the Divine Sunder as well. That mythic item increases all those penetration stats. As a Mumu, what? He's just gone, and with the Void Staff complete for Evelyn. Maybe she didn't pop off early, but that's 2 kills where she has 100-0 opponents, and that's more like what I want to see from my Evelyn. I'll show my bias there. I know what my main in the jungle is. Good to see her popping off a little bit there with those last couple kills.
Yeah, I think he was maybe looking for a flank, to maybe stop this Baron push, but he was caught out. The waves weren't quite prepared right, and maybe they're able to get an inhib now with the movement going down.
Yeah, a couple other items got to call out. There's some of these updated graphics might be confusing people. That interesting looking purple staff in Evelyn's inventory is, of course, new and improved Void Staff. You know exactly how that one all works, ladies and gents at home, if you've been following League at all. And anything else that really desperately needs calling out? I suppose it's the Infinity Edge that you might not recognize in Tristana's inventory as well. All new graphics there. But I think that's about it as the Baron push continues. Camille in the top side, Senna in the bot. It's the 1-3-1. Not the best wave clear versus Baron right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Unleashed in trouble. Maybe, but no, he's not. The brew damage block is absurd. He gets the 1-for-1, but at least Tristana gets another goal. That's an 8th kill of the match for this Tristana Amvos. Terrifying as we're looking for the wraparound gank from Natris, trying to get him. PK, power's taken very, very low. The Allure shredding all that magic resist. But there comes the final spark, turning around, dive too deep. Now Black Cape is in no man's land. Cameron goes forward with the bandage toss. But he's still alive for now, but not before a light binding secures another kill for Corriday.
I mean, you may miss that, but that was actually a 1-for-3 in the bot side, because it was Senna taking tower aggro, I think, off the ultimate. So she actually went down to the tower, which is a complete disaster.
That Baron buff did go well.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think they wasted a bit of time on the Baron buff. It was the Senna clearing the topside camps. Whilst they have the Baron, it is good to do that to keep scaling and getting more gold. But the problem is, Senna takes those camps quite slowly, and she's a massive part of the siege because you got such long range. So maybe wasting the Baron buff a little bit. But I guess it was technically quite a free Baron, and to get anything from it was good enough for them.
Sure, I think that's a fair shout, but we've got more important things to talk about, namely Infernal Soul Point. BTC want this so bad. No Cape wants to start up, gets a bit of a route there onto Albion Least with the Phantom Undertow Bone Skewer combo, but can't secure anything more. And this will be potentially game-breaking. Both of these teams even in kills. It's a slight gold lead, but it's a Drake advantage on the other side. And that was Chimp House to BTC, of course. I apologize for the slight lack of clarity there. But that Bone Skewer doesn't need clarity to land. Hitting again onto Albion Leashed.
Yeah, I'd really like to see this Evelyn maybe wrap around and try and find a flank. The map is so opened up for them, as there is a hook onto the Camille. But you know what? I actually quite like what BTC are doing. They have even Lux is on. She's actually going to clear it now, but she is able to just throw out those E's and just poke from quite a long range, and she is doing quite a lot of damage at this stage of the game.
That's a double light binding. Good dodge with the Hextech on the way, but now Natrix in the backline gets onto the Lux. She's dead. She's gone, and the last caress doesn't get anything. But now the fight continues. And remember that Tristana is a terror. Death from below comes through, but no kills secured. Gab's cool, trying to stay alive. Natrix gets back and gets onto the Tristana. Both the carries fall to the Widowmaker. Breaker, and Boss Man Jones is in a 1 versus 1 versus PK Pals, trying to stay alive, but PK Pals can't get close even with the slows from the Iceborne, or rather, the Frostborn, I believe it's called. Frostfire. I'll get this new name right soon enough, guys. But it is a clean fight win. It is 2 for 5, an ace. The health bars are blinking, but Chimp House College win that fight with a clutch blank from Evelyn.
Massive team fight for them. You know, to deny the Infernal Soul is really big. But you know, they got 5 kills off it as well. It's, you know, I said about this Evelyn fight, and you know, the most perfect one. You know, completely obliterating that Lux just after she'd got that really good binding. But you know, they were able to play out the rest of the team fight really well. It was a really good watch used, and you know, it's a massive team fight. And you know, they're not. This game is very even. You know, the first game was you know, a bit of a stomp, but it is really good to see this game so even.
Completely true. Third item in for Oriana's all gone to that Cosmic Drive. Move speed, the more abilities you hit, just so much rundown potential, especially with that phase rush. Thornmail's in for the Maokai, but there were no pink wards available, so none of those control wards to spot out the Evelyn. She finds the flank, even though it looked like Corriday had found the game-winning binding, potentially. Doesn't work out. The Fed Tristana stays alive a little longer, but actually Natrix goes in, but manages to get out of the route with a well-timed last caress.
Yeah, maybe
it's close.
You're able to tell us, because I don't play a lot of Evelyn, but what's the cool?
The last caress is the ultimate.
Yeah, what's the cooldown on that ultimate? As you know,
it really does depend. You're like, probably at this point with the amount of ability, he's probably looking at about 40 odd seconds at level 16. She's looking to get around the back end of it. It's already down about half HP. Bossman Jones get poked, but now Natrix gone, but he's got exhausted. Evelyn's Bane, and it's a double kill with a dash from below. Double shutdown, no less. That's huge. And this time the fight's going the way of Team BTC. Albie trying his best to get the damage he can. There's Hextech ultimate. At least he gets one onto the jungler. That means there's no smite available, but it is still a 3-for-1, and Baron is alive. No, Kate can't find the bone skewer. Can Gab's Cool look to secure this over the wall? Can they stymie this Baron? It's going to be a challenge, and I don't know if they've got the damage. You can see they're looking to pick people off over the back of the wall if they dare step too close. Last Embrace comes over, but look how tanky PK Pals is to this center. Amvor shredding this Baron. I think they've got it, Sutty.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, both junglers are down, so there's no smite here. But it's Tristana dealing so much consistent damage to this.
Wait. Black Cape gets caught, gets put out. Baron is secured. And you know, one of these days, buddy, you will get chance to color cast. But we've got 22 kills to 22. It's been a bloodbath back and forth the whole game. And I still don't think we're any close to seeing who's going to win it. But for now, the ball is in BTC's court. They've got the Baron buff. They got the shutdowns, and they're going to be looking to push their advantage here.
Yeah, it's been a really back and forth game, which has been really good. We've seen 2 Barons, you know, on opposite teams, but you know, as you said, the ball is at the feet of BTC right now. You know, and it's a massive team fight. Again, they get the Baron, they get the gold from the Baron, they get the buff, but also it was all 3 kills from the side of BTC were, you know, shared with Pike ult, which is huge. So much gold, such a big gold swing in that
pops the
team
barrier,
fight.
and it's going to run out before the last caress. This time Natrix waits it out, and there was no hope. Evelyn at 4 items with that Lich Bane in as well, and a vast amount of ability haste. See if I can find out exactly how much.
And that's even with you know, Lux having the Banshees failed. So
sure. LB now in trouble though. GA popped. Speaking of defensive items getting popped, the flash out, but a rocket jump forwards, but that is the black mist preventing the autos coming through. Such a frustrating ability. Keeps Albie alive despite him hopping forwards. But that's another good use of the bandage shot. The Curse of the Sand Mummy comes out. There is no Devour flash forward. Bossman will get devoured out, but Ambos gets the kill anyway. Evelyn is here, but has got no last caress. Still on cooldown, but only for 10 seconds or so. It's 2 kills. It is the mid laner with Shockwave still up. It is the defensive option of Black Cape who has fallen again. It's a white flag that will be flown in that jungle. And Chimp House have to retreat. They cannot contest this Baron push at the minute. Camille's split pushing, and that's all they can do. Evelyn looking for a flank. Maybe, just maybe, can catch someone out the back end, but it'd be risky. Oh, so risky.
it's a 2-for-1 for BTC. But the biggest thing is
Wait,
that they
wait,
still
there's the
have
hop forwards. That's going to be Ampos who stays alive, but he absolutely ends up in the back of all the rest of the people. I don't think he wanted to end up there, and Ampos gets the killing spree. Another kill, 12th of the game for this Tristana, but now maybe has gone too deep. Albi trying to get in, but cannot secure the kill. It is a goon squad in the mid lane that will secure it, and with more people dead, the Senna, the Evelyn, nowhere near to be found. I think they're going to shove on and try and end it all. Bossman Jones with a hope, a will, and a shockwave. Can't find the damage, can't clear the minion wave. The last Nexus Tower falls. And BTC, in a hotly contested back and forth, will secure the win at 41.5 minutes into game. Bloody hell, Sati. I think I'm going to need an oxygen tank after that one.
Not just after that one, after the first game as well. Really good games. Even if the first one, that second game was so close, and we saw 2 Barons, so many team fights. Such a fantastic game. Brilliant.
And with that, we can finally bring back in Milky Cereal as well. How has the popcorn eating been going, my friend? Because that one was a blockbuster of a game.
I couldn't eat the popcorn. I was getting, it was just too entertaining. I had Twitch chat entertaining me, and then I was just in awe, just trying to listen to you breathing, which I couldn't do. So yeah. I kind of lost my own oxygen listening to you initialize.
Let's give him some time to breathe.
Give me a moment.
We'll
take it away,
take
Sonny.
it. We'll take it here because what a game this. 2 team fighting comps with like the Maokai and the Mumu, such big team fighting ults. I think the biggest thing was honestly this Pike. The swinging gold with the Pike gold was with the Pike sharing of the gold was massive in this game, and able to get the Tristana those items. I'm not quite sure what level she got to, but she was able to scale so well into this game. I love to see the damage because she must have done loads in that.
Absolutely true.
I think as well for the side of Chimp House, I feel that they had 2 big windows where they were arguably in control of the game, but they made 2 vital mistakes, and I kind of want to go over both of them. So the first one that I want to look at was kind of towards those early stages of the game, when they were 10 minutes in, they had done a fantastic job of utilizing their only kind of lane that was even if not ahead, which was that Camille. Camille into Maokai is an okay matchup, and with those new items, I can't remember what it's called, but you just absolutely disintegrate armor.
Is the one that she picked up. Some brutal stuff, yes.
So they were able to get such a nice lead, but then I almost want to say it kind of got to them a bit. They started to think, okay, we're ahead, and as people will so many times hear in other broadcasts, they didn't take the appropriate steps. They went for 50-50 Drakes. They had no need to. They could just play it nice and slow, utilize. They were 3k gold up, and then they just allowed that gold to close down and allowed BTC a way back in. And Sati, I'm sure you noticed it as well, because there were so many times where all they had to do was just wait a few seconds before going for that play.
Yeah, exactly. And they had the Baron buff. They were picked off on side lanes with this Baron buff. It was such an important part of the game, and they kind of wasted these opportunities that they were able to create for themselves so well. So it's a good game. I think they played out the early game really well. This is the Chimp House, and they can really take something from this game, and they'll be back next week for sure.
Okay, and I think with that, we've probably got to start thinking a little bit about who do we want here for the MVP. I think for the longest time, I think on Chimp House, well, maybe someone like Black Cape on that Tom Kench with some of the clutch saves, maybe the Camille after the early lane, but we need to start discussing, obviously, with BTC, who managed to hold on, come back in those team fights as the game got later. Who do we want to consider here for an MVP? Sati, you can start that one off.
I think I will go for the Lux. We saw that really a double kill with the solo kill, and then turning it around in the minion wave, killing the Evelyn. But she had some really important light bindings, getting picks, and allowing allowing his team back into the game. So I think I'll go for the Lux. I think a bit of a game changer there, and a really solid game.
Yourself, Milky.
I think I'm going to agree with Sati on this one. I'm going to go with the Lux. Did a really good job in the early stages of game. That double kill as well in the mid lane. I mean, you can mention as much as you want that it was a misplay by the Evelyn. It doesn't matter. It looked really cool, and it was calm and collected as well. to punish the mistake that was made. So yeah, I'll go with the Lux.
Yeah, and that was just after she managed to get the solo kill under tower as well. So I think I have to agree. Stylish moves in the mid lane, stopped the snowball as well, survived so many attempts on her life throughout particularly that early game as well. So real credit to Corriday there, who I think will get a unanimous MVP vote from us here. But with that, I believe we have to throw it back over to Lord Flab as well, who's got some words to close this out.
Thank you very, very much, guys. What an absolutely incredible game that was. Congratulations to BTC for the stunning game. I cannot believe how long that actually went on for. And Twitch chat, I know you're listening right now. Please, whatever you do, send some love and commiserations over to Chimp House, because this was definitely a game sat on a nice edge from start to finish. It was almost impossible to figure out who was going to win until we basically got down to one of the last fights of the game. So that's basically it for the stream. But just before we go, I've got a couple of friendly reminders for you coming up next week. First of all, on Friday the 13th, once again, the very spooky date, at 4 o'clock, we have got Fun Friday with Elliot. Following on from that, on Monday the 16th, at 4 o'clock also, we have got the parent interview. The challenges parents face with their children wanting to go professional in esports. And finally, on Wednesday the 18th, we've got the British Esports Championships for the Overwatch League, also at 4 o'clock. Please, 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 ladies and gentlemen, remember, highlights, the content center is now available on the championship platform. Submit your clips via the form for review to potentially be featured in the highlight reels. And also, this is the second to last LoL stream this year. The next game will be on the 2nd of December. So don't forget, put that date in your diary, the 2nd of September, if you want to keep watching all of the League of Legends content. So before I finish this evening, I just want to take the opportunity to once again thank our fantastic casters, our producer, our volunteers, our players, our fans, every single person for what this org has become. The British Esports Association working so hard to develop grassroots performances in all sorts of industries, both on and off the rift, in front of the screen and behind the screen. And well, that's it really. Just thank you so much to everyone for tuning in, for doing your part, and just making it absolutely incredible. That's all the time we have for this week here on the British Esports Association League of Legends Championship stream. And hopefully we'll see you all again next time. And remember, please stay safe during this unprecedented time.